dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Keep blue flag flying high, fly From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable. Hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Keep blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Keep blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable. Hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Keep blue flag fly. the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever will stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. But Chelsea forever will stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable,
Yes, good people, big up once again and welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Chelsea News Roundup Show. I do hope you're all doing well. And let me explain. Today will be a mashup of Chelsea's away game in the UEFA Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain, a build-up show where we will have, you could say, semi-structured conversation about that upcoming game. We ask panelists and those in the chat how they feel, whether certain players should start. And tomorrow we will do the combined 11 for both clubs. But more importantly, I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this particular evening. It's still 7:46 p.m. for me. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough for the immense growth that we're seeing, and we're getting closer and closer to 30k subscribers. But before we continue, please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. And we have our senior panelists available tonight. Bobby, it's been difficult for him because the show from his end airs during odd hours, but very soon the Blue Morning Show will be back. And before I call on Bobby, but I want to say, Bobby, hello to you. I do hope you're doing well. Before we start discussing the show, there are a few 2-3 items we have lined up that I'd like us to talk about before we continue. But I'm going to say hello to keep the blue flag flying high. My bro, Brianni Yahayu, aka a lot of names that I don't have the energy to start saying right now. But big up to you. Showdown against it's gonna be a serious one. The button is feeling lonely. Give it some love, which means like the video. Help us garner more likes. We finished with 71 likes yesterday. Let's try and get it to 100 likes today. I know it's possible, but only if you want to. Up big to you too, Ty. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. Usually when your shows, your post-game shows air, I usually have, you could say, getting some sleep to get ready for the evening shows. But very soon I will be up there to fight some people. But that's, by the way, Bobby, big up to you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. How are you doing, Bobby?
Yeah, pick up, coach. I'm nearly asleep, but I'll try and hang in there a little bit.
I totally understand. Once my in-laws come back, we will start the Blue Morning Show again. It's pretty difficult right now. But that's fine. I'm gonna go to the presentation window, and without wasting much of your time, so we can start addressing the items we have lined up, semi-structured. It will be today, as I've told you. Give me 1 second here. I hope this is not frozen again today. Give me 1 second. We'll figure it out. Even if it's frozen, I'm not sure if that's the case. It doesn't look it. At the same time, okay, I'm gonna close out this one since I'm not using it. Give me 1 second, people. Let me make sure the presentation window is ready before I even take you there. Give me a second here. Yeah, blank, of course, has to go blank. All right, let me make sure it is ready before I go back to it. I sincerely do apologize for not so much seamless transition and also switch to the presentation window. Okay, here we go here. And I have to add Bobby to this window also because I have him talk about Frank Lebon, who all of a sudden has become the nicest person when he talks about Chelsea, but he's been saying some nonsense about the club, the whole thing uh, a, for a long time now. All right, let's go back to the presentation window once again. There we go. And please try as much as you can to keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I will assume that you're having a very good conversation with a fellow community member, which you have every right to. So the first item we have lined up here, Frank Lebon. PSG are going to play against Chelsea with Caicedo. I think James, if Gusto plays at right back, and Fernandez at the top of the triangle, that is going to be a hard task if Chelsea played the way they played against Aston Villa. PSG have to be worried. And this is not the first time within this particular week, last week, actually, so to speak, last week that he said something nice about Chelsea. That is new to me because all he did in the past was just to have a go at Chelsea, have a go at the hierarchy, have a go at them hiring, in quote unquote, an inexperienced manager, have a go at the club and the squad not having experienced enough players or lack of leadership here and there. probably having a laugh at us on ESPN. But this is a serious turnaround here. Bobby, I don't know if you have anything to add to that one. Let's hear you.
The whole Frank LeBeouf, Craig Burley, ESPN thing. I've switched off from it for quite a while. I don't know what else he's been saying recently, but I find those two are two ex-Chelsea players that Craig Burley more than Frank LeBeouf, but
Mm.
I just think they are on their own personal agendas.
Yeah, I agree. They have their own agendas, and because you could say we're not perfect, but we're still doing well. So, and they're sensing that, yeah, we're headed in the right direction. So, all of a sudden, they need to be on the good side of the fence, in my opinion. But it's okay. That's as one of my favorite songs say: "If nobody talks about you, then you're definitely nobody." Chalma 24 says the only threat we'll really need to worry about is Nuno Mendes. If we find a way to neutralize him and force a bad game from him, I am confident we will win. Okay, that's the sort of comment I'm looking for today. But that's serious ball knowledge there from Telma. Did I pronounce? I hope I did not butcher your name. Yeah, Chalma, so to speak. I apologize. Let's go, Chalma. Night, Modman, welcoming you there. And why when 987 says it says Steve Up cannot play 90 minutes yet off the bench. Makes sense, but we don't know how. Again, going by what the manager said about him, I think you're correct. I don't think he can play 90 minutes yet. 90 minutes yet. Leave him on the bench until we drag PSG around a bit, then bring him on to come. Yeah, exploit their tiredness. And Chalmers says I'd also play Cole Palmer centrally rather than on the right because out wide he could easily be marked out of the game the same way Mendes does with Lamina Yamal, and that could hurt us. Here's something I'm going to say. I think there's a misconception to how best to get the best out of Cole Palmer. The secret is freedom, not necessarily deploying him to or deploying him. You could say having him play in a particular position. No, you'd have to give him the freedom to be wherever he deems fit on the pitch. That's how you get the best out of him. I get it. Placement on the structure that usually the sports app presents. You see him placed in a particular position, but usually he you say you get the best out of him by giving him the freedom to come centrally if he wants or move to the left, drop deep whenever. The game dictates where he you see him on the pitch. If you use him in a static way, I think you're gonna regret it. So it's not about him starting centrally or starting on the flanks. It's about giving him the independence to be wherever he deems fit on the pitch. All right, Modmana saying hello to you. Much love to you. Thank you for the blue heart. We sincerely do appreciate that. Palmer had his best years and only good year was playing on the right. That's if we want to, because on the porch he starts the game usually on the right. But remember, the key is giving him the independence or freedom, if you prefer, to be wherever he deems fit on the pitch. Let's say what I mean by that, because he reads the game, follows the game, makes himself available for his teammates whenever necessary. Which means that could be in a central position or on the left hand side. It'd be a huge mistake to say, okay, you're playing as right wing today, and yeah, be disciplined. Then you're not gonna get the best out of him. The key is give him freedom. And yeah, if we're going by the position where you can say he's played well better for us at Chelsea, it'd be on the right hand side. So that is very, very correct. Bobby, that's by the way, I don't know if you have anything to add to that before, because I want us to go through the items we have, like a few items here, not too many of them, before we get to talking about the game proper.
Yeah, go through the items.
All right. All right. I'll come back to you again. So this one here talks about Joao Pedro versus Premier League strikers. And a lot of Chelsea fans at the time weren't happy that we didn't push for Osimhen and signed him. I think, given what we know now, I'd take him over Osimhen anytime, any day, because he's a more
Yeah.
complete player than Osimhen. Osimhen is more of a traditional number nine, but he has a lot more to his game than Osimhen. No disrespect to Osimhen, he's an excellent number nine. And if we had Mourinho as our manager, I'd say, then yeah, we need Osimhen. So this says expected assists. So he makes efforts in general to create for his teammates to his number one in the Premier League. Um, Short assists, his number one. Fouls suffered, his number one. Offensive duels, success, his number one. I don't know, but I think there's no clarity here. Offensive duels, it should say state whether success or maybe just the volume in total. Non-penalty goals plus assist second, assist his second, progressive carries his second, dribbles attempted his second, touches his second, duels one second, offensive duels one second. Wow. Passes completed his second, progressive passes his second, progressive actions his second. And what a signing he's been. He's actually done better than some of the costlier attackers that, yeah, you can say were timid. I think Newcastle United paid north of £70 million for him. Kitike, nearly 100 million. And I think we paid around half of that for Joao Pedro, and he's proven that even if we believe that our sporting directors made a mistake last summer, I think they've done some stuff that we have to give them credit for. They're not perfect, and I think they're actually very, very close to completing a very, very fearsome squad, in my opinion. But Bobby, let's hear you. Joao Pedro, given how well he's done, I'm going to say that's an A plus signing, given the value for the money and everything, and what he's done so far for us.
I mean, Chelsea have had their eye on Joao Pedro since his Watford days. It's been
Mm,
a long time coming. They've kept an eye on him. I'm glad he took the route he took, which was Watford, Brighton before coming to Chelsea.
mm.
It seasoned him in the Premier League, and I think he's at Chelsea at the right time. He's still very young, and he's proven himself to be a very, very dangerous striker. He certainly shouldn't be the only striker we have, but in terms of, and is he a striker? Is he not a striker? I think he's answering that question himself. But he is indeed, the player or one of the sort of offensive players that we have sorely lacked. And I think he's 2 goals away from crossing the 20 goal a season. I don't think we could ask for much more. So he has proved himself to be one of the good things done over the summer.
And the
Although
most
there are,
efficient striker in the Premier League currently.
yeah, I mean, he's on form. He's on a rich vein of form, and long may that continue.
Would you say the one of the reasons you could say I think we had that conversation yesterday. I think the change in approach has also aided his form, more direct approach. No, so whenever he's in the box, the cross is coming.
Yeah.
No sluggish, you could say, approach like taking the time, picking and choose one to attack. But under Rosenior, we're very direct. If an attacker is in the box, we try to find a way to supply him with the ball and hope he puts it into the back of the net. Would you say? I think the change in approach. I think that is aiding his form in a lot of ways. Plus, also, Rosenior knew him when Brighton signed him. When he said
Yeah.
actually at the time, and that was 2023 or so, yeah. So he said that he's capable of becoming one of the best strikers in world football.
Yeah, I mean, that helps. Although, having said that,
Did we lose you, Bobby? Sorry, guys. I know you guys enjoy listening to Bobby, but it's either he's sleepy or his connection is poor. I can't hear him right now. But apologies. Let's see what why when 987 says I think you should add where. Why, when, and where. Uh, I think you should add where to it, then it'd be complete. He says Enzo was putting crosses from the right side, so Rosenior has tried that. Okay, let's see. I trust Rosenior. He's proven up close. Again, I had doubts before he became our manager, but up close, I could see that. Yeah, he has a lot more of his sleeves than I know. I cannot see PSG stopping JP from scoring. I hope so. I really do hope so. The second goal he scored against Villa was so good. He knew the goalkeeper was coming out, so he chipped him and directs it in the right corner. And his thing, I think he's actually scored about at least three chipped goals since joining Chelsea. And CFC Gamer, nice to see you, my bro. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And as the show progresses, please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have a total of 53 people following the show on YouTube, but we have just 12 likes. We can do a lot better than that. If half of you like the video, we should have at least 25 likes. Bobby, I'll come back to you. Looks like you got disconnected. Pedro likes to chip goalkeepers. Personally, I have no doubt our midfield is strong. I think we have a stronger midfield and capable of dominating the game. I also think Nuno Mendes could be tasked with making Cole Palmer marking Cole Palmer, so to speak. So we shouldn't rely too heavily on Cole Palmer. If they like, they should mark him. But here's the thing, that's not Lucha's style. He's not into tasking a player to try and mark out a particular player. I think that will play into our hands, and I like that. If Joao Pedro, Garnacho, and the rest step up and have a good game, he will take the pressure off of Palmer and keep the opposition guessing. I think we've seen so far that our goals come from all departments, not just the attacking area, and I think that's good. Palmer has been ghost for 2 years already. 1 year wonder, overrated. I disagree. He's been less selfish this last few games. That's the only improvement, which is good. And I'm going to talk about something I've talked about 1,000 times here. The problem with people, you can say the fans' expectations, how they expect Palmer to perform, is that they think they still see the same Palmer we experienced under Pochettino. That is still possible, but it's going to be very, very difficult. And why do I say that it's going to be very difficult? Pay attention. First of all, we have more of a unit than we had under Pochettino. It'd be difficult for us to be a one-man team right now. Very difficult. Yeah. But then it was easy for us to be a one-man team. We were chaotic on the pitch, and Cole Palmer was smart enough and good enough to take advantage of all the hero moments that emerged at the time, because we were chaotic on every department on the pitch, and that led to us being a one-man team. We were Cole Palmer FC at the time, but now we are more of a unit. He's still one of our best players, but it will be very, very difficult for him to measure the sort of performances we experienced from him under Mauricio Pochettino. All right, let's see. West Ham goal was the same exactly. There's one against I think Leeds United, the chipped goal too. Yes, Palmer and Gusto were sensational together. We need Enzo in 10, and I prefer Garnacho over Neto. Heston, one thing you should pay attention to, Pepu 777, is that we almost always use a fluid approach in the front area. The starting position for most, especially the right-hand side, is just, you could say, you could just call that a surface level thing, because once the game starts, you pay attention to how the players apply themselves on the pitch. You understand that they're never static, and you can't even tell what structure we're using until at the end of the game that you'd have the time or the luxury to look at the average positioning of the players, or maybe as you follow the game, then you'll be able to tell what structure we used on that day. Against PSG, Sanchez will be a huge help with 7 shots and distributions, because PSG attackers will shoot and press. So our goalkeeper will be very, very important. In terms of pressing, Sanchez could make a lot of mistakes. In terms of distributions, long ball distribution, I take him over Jorgensen, but it's looking more like Jorgensen will be the one to gut the sticks for us on the day. We haven't relied on Parma in 2 years. Even that first year, Jackson played a huge part in Parma's success. That's an excellent observation, and Bobby would tell you that. And once again, I like your name, but if I'd say why, when, and where. I'd add where also. All right, we haven't. Yeah, I've read that one. And CFC Gamer says, I know our midfield will dominate, but I just want the attack to be clinical. Yeah, you got to take your chances, but because eventually PSG will get chances. And if we don't take our chances, then we could lose. But if we play well, defend well, and take our chances, even if they score, we'd still beat them. They're not that strong, really. They're not that strong. They are beating every Tom and Jerry there, yeah, because the league isn't that strong. But they have good players, no denying that. Also, against PSG, we need James in attacking areas to create the overload and support Estevao or Parma, whoever plays on the right wing. We'll see. I rate Pedro Neto. He plays hard. He's no superstar, but better than, yeah, and Martinelli. I'd rather Pedro Neto on the left hand side on the day than Garnacho, even though Garnacho looks like he's in a better form than him. But Neto is more selfless and can do a lot more for us because he tracks back effectively. So he can do a lot more for us defensively. So, Bobby, go ahead. You were speaking and you were disconnected.
I forgot what it was now. It was about Joao Pedro. I think we've
Oh,
covered
yeah,
that
yeah. You were
now.
talking about him. That was when, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that he's at Chelsea at the right time, the right age. He's nearly hit his 20 goal mark, and it's been a while since we've had a 20 goal a season player.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's been one of the better, brightest side of our summer transfer window.
And we have to give him credit. I know it is something you value in players so much yourself, Bobby. He's humble. I'm quite sure you've heard him talk about how he didn't have a problem following joining what's the team in the championship.
Yeah, I mean, he's somebody that understands football. He understands the Premier League. He knows where he is in Chelsea,
Hmm.
and he knew his journey. I mean, how old is João Pedro? What, 22, 23? He's
And
still
again, hmm,
extremely young,
he's still very young. Yeah.
and he knew he had to go through a development process. He is humble, but you look at his demeanor, he's very confident in his ability.
Hmm.
It's a wonderful signing.
He is. He is, and he again he looks committed, and I'm happy about that. Really, I think the lineup will be Sanchez, Cucurella, Fofana, Trevor Chalobah, Gusto Caicedo, James Enzo Palma, João Pedro, Estevao. I think Pedro Neto will start. I think so. But let's see what happens. Yeah, big up to you. Let's see what do we have. The reason I keep emphasizing Cole Palmer is because he is part of our attacking threat. He already hurt them in the FIFA Club World Cup, so they will likely come into this game with a specific plan. They might. I hope they do. I think we're capable of hurting them if they focus on we can. Our midfielders can also get us goals. And this is a Canon Cross Sports podcast as we have adapted our approach to play. Yep, I agree. To have less reliance on his performance. Yep, we're more of a unit than we were under Pochettino. Modmana saying
Okay.
hello to you. Let's see, when Estevao, Palma, Joao Pedro, and all the names you mentioned there, when they hit their prime, it will be scary times for the European and Premier League teams. Very exciting future ahead for us Chelsea fans. We are on the right side. Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Okay.
The question I want to ask right now, Bobby.
Mm.
Let's start from the goalkeeping position. It looks like the signs are, in my opinion, if you ask me, that Jorgensen will be the one to start that game. I'm not saying for certain that's going to be the case, but for the fact that he started against Aston Villa and he did well, More important,
Yeah.
you could argue the advantage he has over what's his name over Sanchez is his ability on the ball. He's way better on the ball, and he's not a bad shot stopper. He's a good shot stopper. I could say I think it'd be accurate to argue he proved that in the Conference League. He was that dedicated goalkeeper in the Conference League, and when I thought that he was going to get dropped for Sanchez to come in, the manager fielded him, and he was brilliant on the day. And had it not been for his brilliance between the sticks on the day, we could have gone into the break in that particular game 3 goes down. But the only thing, the pattern I've noticed is that whenever under Enzo Maresca, the times when he had to come in in place of Sanchez when Sanchez got injured, he didn't look confident. He didn't live up to the, you could say, expectations that at the time, but the signs were good, given how well he did against Aston Villa and 3 high claims actually, and that's the first. That was one of the things I was concerned about, his inability to command his area. But I've always known that eventually he will become a much better goalkeeper because, yeah, he's still very young, and goalkeepers, they say, age like fine wine. But Bobby, let's hear you. Robert Sanchez himself, he hasn't covered himself in glory of late. But let's hear you. What do you sense is going to happen here? And if you are in the chat, let's hear you. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think will got the sticks for us against PSG, and why? Let's hear you.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible he'll use Jorgensen. It does raise a continuity issue because, how well does he marshal his defense? I don't know. Um, that's an area now that should give us a little bit of concern simply because of the continuity issue. I don't understand this thirst for having a goalkeeper playing out from the back. I mean, I find that's destructive. I don't think we should try that against PSG because let's just get one thing
We did
right.
that there against them in the Club World Cup, didn't we?
Well, we launched it. That's how we beat them.
Let
We
me let me let me
bypassed the
let me, if
midfield.
you don't mind, Bobby. Remember against PSG, we did
Yeah.
it, and part of it being holding onto the ball and baiting them, and it worked. Sanchez did good on the day, I must say. He held onto the ball, and then before our first goal, he held onto the ball, and I think it was Dembele that was, you could say, too eager to get the ball off of him, probably with the mindset that he's not that good on the ball. He didn't panic, and then he found Gusto on the right hand side. Gomez tried to mark him, but couldn't. I think he fell or something. He slipped. But my point is, we did it. That was one of the reasons why we were actually to beat them. We did it, but at the same time, we paid attention to the spaces where they were leaving in behind, and the aim was to exploit the spaces, and we did that effectively too. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, the ball over the top was what we did against
Yeah, we
PSG.
did that. Go ahead.
And I would much prefer to see that. But I believe in basic principles for goalkeepers. I'm not fully on board with all this playing from the back, sweeper keeper nonsense. I think it's just it creates problems. Against PSG, you have to be very astute. Anybody thinking this is some kind of easy game, or you mark this one player
Hmm.
and you've got the nonsense. We have to go there with our A+ game. A+, because they're a very dangerous team. They've got spectacular players, a very, very good
Still one of the
manager.
best in Europe, if not the best.
Yeah, so I don't really know where some of this things that people are saying about them. Yeah, they didn't have a great game against Monaco, but they didn't need to. And their last league game, it wasn't great, but that's no reason to undermine such a
Hmm.
strong team. So I don't know. I think he might stick with Jorgensen um, because of Sanchez form. All I'll say is this: if Sanchez form is suspect, play Jorgensen. I think I'm good. I'm good for decisive. Uh, uh, uh,
Managerial decision.
yeah, when it comes to goalkeepers, you don't mess around.
No
So
sentiment.
no, no. So
Yeah.
if Jorgensen can handle it and he's good at stopping shots and he gets ball, gets hold of crosses, then yeah, it's a goalkeeper that can claim crosses and nullify set plays. It is worth his weight in gold, and he gives the centre backs a lot of confidence and
Mhm.
takes pressure off them. So yeah, that's an interesting one. It's a shame Sanchez has lost form at this time, but yeah, Jorgensen, he probably can step up to the plate.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately for Sanchez, I think he's even before he was dropped, the signs were there, and people were already starting to complain. There's something he did towards the end of the 24-25 season, and then during the Club World Cup, he's that helped us deal with set piece situations quite a lot at a time. All of a sudden, he stopped doing it. He wasn't doing it as often as he did in those times, and I noticed that, and I was concerned that could lead to us considering unnecessary goals. Had he been on top of it like he did towards the end of from mid-season 24-25 and then during Club World Cup, I don't think we would have considered some of the goals we considered this season already from set piece situations. I'm not sure how he lost that touch, which helped him a lot. But yeah, I'm paying. Look at what we're looking for right now for the goalkeeping position: Robert Sanchez or Filip Jorgensen for you. If you're in the chat, I'll be paying attention to that. If your comment is aligned, then we will read it, and maybe would have a response for your opinion on that matter. So let's hear you. Otherwise, I will assume you're having a good conversation with a fellow community member, and that's okay. My issue is shot stopping with Jorgensen. He is poor with 7 shots. I disagree. Maybe you need to go look at his days at where did we sign him from? Was it Sevilla? I can't quite remember. He was good at it, and he did good in the Club World Cup. And in the final, I urge you to go rewatch that final. He did good in terms of shot stopping. He has a good spring in him, really. And Neto is a magnificent player. But his
Hmm.
end product is hit and miss. You could argue he's just in a poor run of experience in a poor run of form right now. I'd still start him over Garnacho, even though Garnacho has been doing well. But we get to that conversation in a bit. I'm looking for your opinion on why which of the goalkeepers that you'd like to see start on the day and why. Here I prefer Robert Sanchez to start because he played well against PSG. That's a plus. So he will be more ready to play against them again. But here's the thing. I think that's just an assumption. There's no
Yeah.
guarantee he'd be able to perform at the same
Form.
level that he did against them during the Club World Cup final. You might be right, but I can't just go by by an assumption, if that makes sense. Watford's Joao Pedro was
Form matters. Form
sorry.
matters. Form
Yep,
matters.
from Trump's dad. Yeah. I doubt Philip Jorgensen. You don't trust Philip Jorgensen. Sanchez is more experienced and know how to stop the shot. He's an excellent shot stopper. I'm not gonna argue against that. But the question, as Bobby has said like 10 times now, his form it will be key in deciding whether he gets to be our goalkeeper on the day. And Rosenior doesn't look like he's the sort of manager that gives you time to make 10,000 mistakes before he does something. You could argue that is reflective. That is, you could say, if you pay attention to how proactive he's been, that reflects that fact that he doesn't. He give you too much time if you keep making mistakes consistently. I'm not saying Sanchez has made mistakes consistently, but he looked very shaky of late. Jorgensen had a few strange moments in that game against Aston Villa, and if he repeats those mistakes against a much higher quality side, it could end up costing us. But we're not too certain whether he's going to start on that day. But signs are he might actually be the one to start on that day. Um, you're fighting with Mod Manor. Slug it out with him. Sanchez always passes the ball to Gusto, but he went long. Yep. I think that day against PSG, that was the plan really, to go long and then so that we can exploit the spaces in behind. Gemma says I prefer Sanchez kicking it long most of the time, but he can build up with short passes. That's where the issue lies. On that immense pressure or persistent pressure, you'd find him making 2 or 3 mistakes per game. Vitinha knows, and okay, let's look at it. The Sanchez comment. Let's hear your thoughts, Sanchez or Jorgensen. We will talk about the attacking players and midfielders. Fabian Ruiz is injured, so who will start in the midfield? I think he will find a solution. Lucha will find a solution. He's a good manager. Don't take that away from him. But I think actually we have a much better squad, and the only thing is that they have maybe a more experienced squad, or maybe they're more of a unit than we are because their project is a few years ahead of us. But we have a brother in the house in Bans. Big up Bans. How are you doing, Bans?
I'm all right, Coachy. Big ups to Bobby. I've heard you guys discussing so many issues in connection with PSG game,
Mm-hmm.
and
We're at the goalkeeping position right now.
sure, I will just tackle that right away. We've been saying this all week, and I'm just going to reiterate it again for the purpose of our viewers and
Listeners.
listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so honestly, I think it would be good if Jorgensen will be playing in the PSG game, but I have a different opinion. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans feels like he's on top form and Sanchez is deep in form. So in that regards, we have to put Jorgensen in that particular game. I've
Mm-hmm.
told you time and again that Jorgensen is a player who has not yet been tested, especially with some of the high volume games and some of the top games. He hasn't been tested yet, and we don't know how he's going to look like when it comes to those games. Any game Sanchez will do any error or doesn't feel so comfortable has to do with the guys in front of him. We all know that you have players like Badia Show and Tolson who will be in a game and sometimes they are so poor on the ball, and even the position on the field of play makes it so difficult for him to extend passes to those guys. If you look at our game against PSG at MetLife, we had Kowal and Chaloba, and on the day everything was smooth and he never had any issue. So if a player should make a lot of mistake or a player is performing so bad, we should ask ourselves what are the kind of players he was playing with on the day, and it's also part of the whole equation. But we cannot assume that Sanchez is deep in form and going into PSG game we have to drop him. Nah, that would be a big mistake. Honestly, PSG players would have wished that Sanchez would sit on the bench so that they can try their luck on Jorgensen because they know what Sanchez can do on a day when he's having a good game. There were so many times he saved us during the game in MetLife. So if you have a goalie like that, approaching this game is a must. You have to let him play regardless of what is going on right now. And it seems he's very comfortable and he knows them. He knows how to move. He knows how to distribute the balls to Gusto and Neto. And I don't think we should just make a mistake by dropping him all because of what is going on out there. The game against Arsenal and some few games that he had a very bad game, we can say that those games were very difficult. And we don't know how Jorgensen would have also performed against those clubs. So we shouldn't make a mistake by saying that, oh, this guy is not having a good time. So for that regards, we have to drop him. I feel like he's still the number one in our football club, unless we upgrade our transfer by bringing in somebody who is really ahead of him. And also looking at PSG, there are so many changes. And I heard Bobby talking about how we shouldn't underrate their performance. And Kochi, I told you, I even said that probably They are just trying to beat Chelsea Football Club, knowing that when they lose a couple of games, it will be a distraction and we are not going to pay attention and focus on the game. I would have wished if Chelsea will still be the underdogs approaching this particular game, because when you are underdog, there is no more tension, or you don't have enough tension on you, and you can go into a game and surprise your opponent. But as it stands right now, a lot of people thought that we're able to overcome them, and they have not given the opinion about the game. I hear a lot of revenge coming from the fans, and as it stands right now, none of the fans have been able to determine what will happen on Wednesday. So this shows us that this game is very tricky. I don't want Chelsea to get into a game where they will look so bad. I don't know the kind of Chelsea that will pop up. If it's a Chelsea that played against Botafogo, or yeah, I think Botafogo, that day I was at Philly and our performance was so bad, or against Burnley, then I think we're going to be in trouble. But if we show up and we do a lot of our work well and approach this game with a winning mentality, I believe we can, surprise PSG one more time. And let's not forget that there are some players who were not on the bench on the day or even on the list, but this time around they are going to be in. I know the Ecuadorian player Pacho will be around. They have some few quality out there, so we have to be very careful. We need to approach this game, and I'm telling you, we should avoid conceding more goals, because there are times where we play certain games and we concede so much. That is what we should be avoiding. At least if our worst result could be a draw, let's say 2-2 draw, or maybe 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw is even risky because they can still come to London and cause a surprise. So we have to go there, frustrate them, take the game to them. And one thing I know about this team is whenever you have a good team playing against them and they open up the game for them, they know how to deal with that situation. It is when teams try to pack their
All right.
bag and get us on the break. So I believe we stand a chance of going out there to Paris and give a very good game to PSG. And I hope we come out with a very good result.
All right. Well, we still have a lot of, you could say, a lot to talk about with regards to that game. I'm going to catch up with some of what we get. We will give the microphone back to those in the chat, but I'll come back to you. Or let me just ask you this now: do you think this is a case of Rosenior playing with the psyche of Robert Sanchez to get him to be at his best on the day? But if that was the plan, then he didn't cover himself with glory against Wrexham. Because
Yeah,
he looked shaky.
Yeah, I told you, Wrexham, tell me who was really doing good in the entire game. We were caught up, like we were exposed on the day. And you should ask yourself who were playing in front of Sanchez. Look at Badia Show. I don't know what is wrong with Badiashile, but he came to Chelsea with a lot of prospects, and I thought he would have, taken the opportunity to, you know, let us see him. But even Cowell's injury never brought anything good to Badiashile, and he's still struggling. So if you are a goalie and someone like that is in front of you, and you have to like be communicating with that person, and the person
Mhm.
is not making the right decision, it makes you also it makes it very difficult for you to perform on the day, because his judgment sometimes is very very bad, and sometimes he starts very slow at the back. Even covering balls is a bit difficult for him. Look at the Wrexham's first goal against us. As a defender, he could have done something to avoid that goal, but he was just outpaced by the attacker, and I feel like we can't blame Sanchez too much. I believe if Sanchez have Chaloba, Cowell in front of him, the whole story will be different. That is why I feel like Sanchez is the right person for the game, and I believe Rosenior is not going to go for Badiashile or Tosin against
No,
PSG.
I don't think
He would
any of
def-
those guys will be
yeah, he
on the
would
bench on
definitely
the day.
pair Fofana if Fofana is around. But I was thinking of Sa and Chaloba. Sa has got exposed during the AFCON. He played one of the biggest, games in his career. So I don't think PSG game is going to be something difficult for him. And let's not forget that he was at Strasbourg. He has met them already and he knows them. So I was thinking that probably we can throw in Sar and Chaloba in the centre back, but you've preferred Fofana. So let's see what happens. If Fofana is fit and he's going to play that game, that is also a very good thing because he is a French guy. He knows the PSG team very well, and he's also not that bad as compared to the other two that we have. So I think Sanchez should be all right, and he's still going to be the number one unless we bring in someone who has more experience or an upgraded goalie who will come in and overtake him and take him to the second position. But as it stands right now, I still believe he is going to be the number one, regardless of what people are saying.
All right. I'm going to give the microphone to those in the chat. We'll come back to the panel. I think the next topic I want us to talk about is whether Pedro Neto starts over Alejandro Garnacho or vice versa. But let's give those in the chat the microphone and see what they have to say with the goalkeeping discussion. Okay, Bobby, have a nice night and thank you for finding the time to join. Chelsea have been much better than PSG all season. PSG are a horrible team. They were in the playoffs for a reason. If we struggle versus PSG, Rosenior must be questions, and Enrique also overrated. Semer Kwasi, nice to see you. That's some comment right there, really. Here's the thing. The question there is: it's your birthday or that of a friend or a family member? Let us know so we can shout you out. Well, we usually do it only for our paid members, but yeah, we're in a very good mood today. So if it is your birthday or if you have someone you want to shout out and it's your birthday or the marriage ceremony or maybe newlywed, let us know. We can shout them out for you so you can clip it, go show them. Let's see. Jorgensen needs minutes to get better. Obviously, this manager is big on build up from the back, but against PSG, we should play longer. Rosenior gives PSG sleepless nights, so I trust his decision making. Yeah, he's beaten them. I think I need to find. He's beaten them once, drawn one, and lost one, all against Luis Enrique. Yeah, so he knows them very well, and I don't think Enrique changes a lot. If he does, I think he's going to make it a little more difficult for his players. I think we'll see the same approach. I think their biggest concern is to conserve energy, not to, because they're making excuses, suggesting that we were able to beat them the way we did at the Club World Cup final because they were tired. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of changes. It'd be the same approach. A lot of risk, a lot of spaces in behind to exploit. The question is, are we going to capable of taking our chances when they come our way? As PSG don't have Donnarumma this season, so players like Caicedo, Enzo, to take long shots and see if we can score with that. Okay, I think they might use the zero duo as the attacking midfielder with Bradley, Bacola, Ousmane Dembele, and the former Napoli guy, I can't say his name, Cav, forming the front three. Vitinha and Drew or Zaire Emery as two pair center mids. Let's see what happens on the day. Palmer needs to have a big game on Wednesday. And that's the sort of game that usually, if you think he's done for the season, he shows up, surprisingly. That's the sort of game. And there'll be tons of spaces for him to exploit. He's such an intelligent player, irrespective of how bad he's playing at the moment. If you leave the spaces there, he will he will see it, read it effectively, and exploit it effectively. He's that player, irrespective of how badly he's been playing. Of the mighty Chelsea, Samar Kwasi, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you, brother. And we still have 26 likes, 74 people following the show currently on YouTube. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's try and get it to 100 likes today. We finished 71 likes yesterday. I think we can do that. Let's see. Fofana and Chalobah should start a center back. I think those are the two we'll see. I don't think we'll see any other person there, except if Fofana isn't fully fit, then we might see Sa. because yeah, that makes sense. That argument from Bands does make sense. Because yeah, the French league. I think that stadium will be more like he'd be more comfortable playing there than some of our current center backs. Let's see. I think Jorgensen has a higher chance of starting this game because it seems Rosenior currently prefers him over Robert Sanchez. Personally, I'd start Sanchez, but I don't see that happening. I think it smells like Sanchez is in trouble. It does smell like Sanchez is in trouble, and unfortunately, yeah, not unfortunate. If the manager, I think he sees them day in day out on the training pitch, and probably must have seen something that has led to him deciding that yeah, he'd be better of having Jorgensen got the sticks for us rather than Robert Sanchez. But we don't know. We'll see. But coming back to you, Bans, your thoughts. Pedro Neto or Alejandro Garnacho for left wing. Which of the two players do you prefer and why? And if you're in the chat, let's hear you. Pedro Neto or Alejandro Garnacho. I've seen a lot of people say Garnacho because he's in a much better form right now. But I'd rather Pedro Neto for reasons I've explained. But I'll let Bands speak. And when he's done, I'll present my opinion on why I think it will be one of the two players. And I'm not going to mention which of the two players right now. So, Banks, let's hear you.
Okay, Coachy, obviously I will go for Pedro Neto. Why? Because he knows the PSG team. He played with them. He knows how to maneuver. And comparing Garnacho and Pedro Neto, let's not rush tagging Garnacho to be on the same level with Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto, we
At
all
least
know.
from a defensive perspective.
Yeah, Pedro Neto, we all know he's a very fantastic player. Things are really not going on well. And he's somebody who has been scoring from outside the box. If you have a player who does that for you, and especially going in for a PSG team that does not have the Roma
Mm-hmm.
anymore, it's most likely he can strike from outside the box and get us some goals. Whilst Garnacho sometimes struggle to deliver with his ending. I've been saying that Garnacho is a very good player, but the end results matters more. Sometimes he doesn't take advantage of the end results, which is a big problem that he has to work on. So if you ask me, I would say Pedro Neto should start this game ahead of Garnacho. I know Garnacho in some games have improved a little bit, but against weak teams, maybe a lower division side. So we shouldn't be so happy. I'll be so glad if he comes out and he delivers a lot. But it's a progress. We shouldn't rush him in doing something. At the end of the day, if Garnacho goes out there and he doesn't perform well, I know the same fans who are rooting for him to start the game will start saying Garnacho out from my football club. So sometimes we have to consider the situation and give it to those who deserve it. And at this time, I think Pedro Neto is the one that should start the game against PSG.
I think Pedro Neto too. For me, it's common sense, really. Both are good players. Again, the left wingers, not exactly the same. Differs in some aspects. I think I'd go with. I will definitely go with Pedro Neto for reasons I've talked about 1,000 times. He can be electric on his day. He can be a good dribbler on his day. Sometimes you see him trying to orchestrate gimmicky, if there's anything like that, dribbles and fails a lot. But he had a good game. He had a good outing. He's had a few good outings in recent games. Except yeah, he was suspended, so didn't play. There were two games when he didn't play. So I'd rather Pedro Neto. Why? He tracks back effectively. He's very selfless. I think it's more. I wouldn't say in the case of Garnacho that the case is that he's not as selfless as Neto. It's just not something that he's used to doing. What am I talking about? Tracking back. Neto does that effectively and can do it to a measure where he sacrificed the offensive aspect of his game just to ensure that the team is stays defensively solid until to the end of that game. He's done that severally, especially on that Enzo Maresca. I haven't seen him do that on that Liam Rosenior. So I'd rather him start. But if he's going to start, I'd also have a conversation with him. Say, look, you're starting this because I trust your ability to track back opposition players effectively and help us stay defensively solid for the duration of the game. And when if the opportunity emerges, give it a go. Try and apply yourself. Try and apply yourself from an offensive perspective. You're capable of doing that. And against PSG, I think there were occasions where he was in terms of space. One of them, it was Reece James that was on the ball but didn't look up. And had James looked up, I'd swear I will stop breathing on that hill that we could have actually gotten one more goal on that day, because he was in an acres of space waiting and was raising his hand, but James didn't look up. So I'd rather him. And then in the second half, when the PSG players are tired out, you can bring on Garnacho to come exploit their tiredness. So both will be key on the day. Because whoever starts on that left hand side will run a lot, because the manager would charge them with the responsibility of tracking PSG players on that side. But that's, by the way. Let's see what else do we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We've addressed this one, and he's back again. Yes, sir. It's time to Joao Pedro, the Paris out of PSG. Yeah, that's a good one there. I like it. And here's the thing. Joao Pedro, I'm just happy how much we paid for him and how he compares to all the Premier League other Premier League attackers. The clubs paid hundreds of millions for. They're not even they're not even close to him. I need to appreciate that comment on the screen. Maybe this will do. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this particular evening. It's still 8:42 p.m. CST for me, but I'm happy to be here with you. Let's see. I think Alejandro Garnacho will start ahead of Pedro Neto based on form. Liam Rosenior, I don't think so. Didn't Pedro Neto score a hat-trick of how many days ago? Yeah. Based on form, Liam Rosenior rewards performances, unlike Enzo Maresca, where I'd expect Neto to start. Neto is on poor run of form, but could still get the job done for us in terms of supporting our defense. Pedro Neto needs to be sold. He's not going to be sold. I think he'll still be here. Sanchez out, Neto in. Just stop, man. What did he do to you? Doesn't deserve that. All right, let's see. Tosin out, Badiashile out. Both might well be gone by come summer transfer window. But that's, by the way. I don't know. Have you spoken about Neto versus Garnacho? Have you, Bans?
Say that, Coachy.
Have you spoken about your choice, Pedro Neto or Alejandro Garnacho?
No, Pedro Neto on the day. I said I prefer.
Okay, you've spoken about them.
Yes, I spoke about them. So I prefer Pedro Neto playing in this game instead of, if you put Garnacho out there, Hakimi is going to swallow this guy. There is no waste about. Like, we need to put in Pedro Neto. He's a bit versatile, and he can control the game and give his best on the day. But Garnacho is still young. I don't know how he can, perform against a very quality player like Hakimi. Maybe you can bring him 10 minutes to the end of the game whilst we are trying to control the game. But for him to start, I don't know. But I feel like my preference will be Pedro Neto instead of Garnacho.
And for reason I've explained, but Garnacho, he's in you can say red hot form at the moment, but he's still, for me, I don't think he still does enough in terms of tracking back and supporting the defensive line. But I'm not going to take it away from him that he's improved actually in terms of defensive contributions. I think he's improved significantly, really. But I'm saying, if we're trying to predict the player that I think the manager will start on that left-hand side on that day, I'd say it'd be Garnacho. And by the way, nobody says Neto deserves to start. No. I'm just arguing why I think he's probably going to get the nod over Alejandro Garnacho. Yeah, if it were up to me, I'd go with Garnacho and then find a way to ensure that our defensive line is proper protected, because Garnacho, as much as I believe he's improved this, again, defensive contributions, I'd rather not take that risk. But yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Garnacho is on form. We know that. How many times have you seen the manager go for a more experienced player rather than a player on form? It has happened before. It could still happen. Garnacho is on form, and he will get space to terrorize their defensive line. Neto can come on later. But even if that happens, I'd take that. There's nothing wrong in that. So yeah, but we're not into condemning people's opinion. What we do is, when we see your opinion, we present a counter opinion. It's as simple as that. No, not yet. I have told you know nothing about Neto versus Garnacho, but at this rate, both should be sold. But let's hear your opinion anyway. Says, I wonder if they have been watching Neto. We've been watching him, but are you paying attention to what people are saying? And we're not into forcing people to agree what you say. Present your opinion, hear the person's counter opinion, then present yours. And if you listened, we're not saying Neto is in better form. There are aspects of the respective players we're comparing that we're looking at and saying maybe presenting an argument with regards why the manager will most likely start one of them. That's how we operate here. Because if we condemn your opinion because we don't agree with you, then I wouldn't read your opinion. But because what we do here is we put two and two together, you present your opinion, and if I have a counter opinion, I'll present mine, and then we'll try to come to a sensible conclusion. We don't condemn your opinion, we counter it if we have to. And we all don't have to agree. If we all agree, then something is definitely wrong. Okay, so I don't make it a fight, Chalma. Okay, it's a debate or a conversation if you want to. Yeah, I've watched Pedro Neto recently, and I agree he's been in poor form, but his defensive contributions alone could be the reason the manager decides to say, you know what, you're starting. Yeah, we've seen that happen before. How many times under Rosenior have you seen the fans scream, please, not Tosin, and you see him start Tosin? And on the two occasions that he started him, that the fans didn't want him to start, he did that because of his aerial ability. And to some measure, yeah, he got the job done. Even as badly, again, as he looked on the pitch, as bad as he looked on the pitch against Wrexham, he still got a rating of around 7.8 or so when he finished the game one of the top rated players. Why? Because the manager chose him because of his aerial ability, and to some, you can say, to a very high level, he did that. He did well in that aspect of the game. All right, but that's why we keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. It's time for Estevao left, Palmer right, Enzo mid, Lavia, Caicedo pivot. I don't think Lavia is ready for that game, but that's just my opinion. Maybe he needs to play a lot more match games to regain 100% match fitness. I don't know. We could see him on the pitch. I think. But I'd say this against PSG: if the manager tries to add one more midfielder beyond Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, I think it'd be Andrea Santos. But let's hear you, Bans. Your opinion: if the manager decides he wants one more midfielder on the pitch beyond Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, who do you think it'd be? Do you think it'd be Romeo Lavia or what's the other name? Romeo Lavia or Andrea Santos? I'd say definitely Andrea Santos.
Coachie, I think any of them can start. No, will come in later when the game progresses. But we should be expecting Rhys James joining the midfield this time.
So let's add James to that name.
Yeah, James is going to be the third person in the middle, and Gusto will take James' position. That is how it's going to.
So you think James and Gusto will both be on the pitch on that day?
On the day, yeah, James and Gusto are going to be on the field of play that particular day because this guy is very, very effective. What is his name? Nuno Mendes. He's very, very, very good. So you need two of.
But he leaves tons of spaces in behind.
Yeah, that is when you can get Gusto to do the runs on the flank, like the way we did the last time. And any effort that we can make will result in a game. And we shouldn't be worried at all because Coachy, I will say this, and I know Cole Palmer fans are going to be very disappointed and they'll be like, what is this guy talking about? This particular game, I would prefer Palmer to come in the second half.
No, he's going to start, but, but let's hear
Yeah,
your opinion.
that's
Let's
what
hear your
that's what
reason behind that argument.
yeah, that's what I feel like because when a game is about to start and they do all the video analysis, watch every single Chelsea player and their current form and everything, it's very essential for them to predict who is going to start for Chelsea. So if you want to outwit them this time around, you will just leave Palmer out. When it happens like that, all the plans and everything mess up unless they have a second plan, and which I don't know if it's going to be possible because they come with a strategy, putting Palmer part of their plans, and when they don't see Palmer, you distract them. That can give them a lot of headache. That is when I would prefer Neto, Joao Pedro, and Estevao to lead the attack. And when we do so, because even if you look at all these three players, when you compare them right now with Palmer, they are almost the same. I know Palmer is a fantastic player. He can just deliver some nice passes and do things you are not expecting him to do. But if you put all these three players and you compare them to Palmer, they can equally do the same thing. So why don't you confuse PSG by giving them this setup first? And if things are not going really good, you can let Palmer comes in. That is why I feel like on the day, I would prefer Palmer starting from the bench rather than him starting the game. And I think if we do that, it can be more effective. Let's not forget, PSG hasn't played with Estevao yet, and the game against Barcelona is a clear indication that the intensity and everything that Chelsea could provide to them, they could be on the losing side. If you look at the game against Barcelona, we didn't have Palmer, but we were just flowing. The game was perfect. We score a lot of goals. So this time around, we can do the same, unless they go watch Barcelona game and also strategize for that particular game we played with Barcelona. But as it stands right now, their main target will be Joao Pedro and Palmer. They will find ways to cripple them, and they will also find a way to take control over the midfield, and they will just exploit that. So if you are able to combat that and make sure that they don't exploit that, it will be it will be beneficial for your team. So I'll prefer Palmer starting from the bench instead of coming in the first half. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Let's see. I like this guy Chalma here. A lot of good contributions in the chat for that. Makes for intellectually driven conversations, and I like that conversation. And I like that. He says, Rosenio's previous interview about Alejandro Garnacho and his limited minutes. He said Garnacho has been working hard, and has delivered when given the chance with good back-to-back games. That listen. I am not disagreeing with you. I'm just looking beyond their form. Something critical against a team like PSG is how you're able to defend as a unit. And I did mention when again a few minutes ago when I responded to one of your comments that even though I've seen good improvement from Garnacho, but he's still not quite there in terms of his defensive contributions. He's been, you can say, he's been in better form than Pedro Neto, even creating. He's created a lot more. He's created a lot more than, I think he's created a lot more than Neto. He's also goals. I don't want to start measuring their goals because if you play on the flanks, I prioritize how efficient you are at creating opportunities for your teammates. I think Garnacho has been top in that aspect. And had we been more clinical on the days that he's been on the pitch for us, I think he'd have a lot more. He'd have a lot higher number of assists. But that's, by the way, I get where you're coming from. But I'm saying, I think if what's his name, Enzo Maresca was still our manager, I'd say certainly yeah, need to start. But now, chances are, probably more likely than not, would see Garnacho start on the day. Then the manager will find a way to mitigate the risk of Garnacho's lack of defensive solid, like you say, good enough defensive contributions. If you get my point, chances are also he looks at it and prioritizes a player who do a lot more defensively than Garnacho, who could on the day, even though he's been, you can say, he's been poor of late, show up. That happened. How many games did Cole Palmer play well in the club World Cup? I get it, he got goals in some of those games, but in the final he was a different animal. So these things happen. We're just having a conversation, and I'm telling you the possibility and the reason why I think Neto still has a chance. But the more likely, I think, yeah, you've convinced me that more likely going by his form, we could see Garnacho on the day. And another thing that supports Garnacho starting is that he's capable of exploiting spaces. Once you put the ball in behind, he's quick enough to get at it and do something nice with it. So, yeah, I'm not condemning your opinion. I'm just presenting a counter opinion why I think we could see something different. And Pepe says, my guy, I agree. James play in midfield with Caicedo, but you are too afraid and defensive, bro. Those days are gone. Could start the game. Cold starts the game. Listen, I'm not sure I understand the latter part of your comment on the screen here, but something I want to tell you, James has excellent vision. You can argue he has better vision than some of our midfielders. And he has good passing range. Yeah, so if he starts in the middle there, I'm not going to be too fussed about it. So do you really think the coach would favor someone who's dropped a poor performance against Wrexham AFC and had been previously suspended? I don't really think so. I'm just presenting a case as to why I think we could see him do what again still start Pedro Neto. Experience one, and his you can say his ability to track back more effectively than Garnacho, and his selflessness also. Selflessness. He's the sort of player that's willing to sacrifice the offensive aspect of his again application on the pitch to ensure we stay defensively solid. And I think probably from what we've seen, it is my opinion that he's more capable of implementing the manager's tactics on the pitch than Garnacho on his day. I get it; he can be frustrating. Sometimes you see those gimmick type of dribbles from him that he hardly ever completes a few on the day. He can be a very, very frustrating player. But numbers actually show, as bad as a lot of people think he's been since the start of the season, he's not been that bad, really. But I get it. So, in your opinion, we're here, you're saying Garnacho is going to start. We may well see that. Chances are you're more correct. And chances are he still start Neto. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but we find out on the day. More likely, Garnacho, given what you've explained. Let's see. Why leave Palmer on the bench to bring him on later? Not a smart thing to do, Palmer, any day. Again, he hardly ever performs, correct me if I'm wrong, if he's called off the bench. But that's just my opinion anyway. I think Rosenior will likely stick with the same lineup he used against Aston Villa, possibly. Not a bad lineup anyway. What else do we have? Lama says, how many good games does a player need to before you say he's in form? Joao, Reese, Enzo, Trevor are in form. I don't see Garnacho in form. Garnacho has been form. He's been in form of late. Maybe not long enough. Maybe you want to see more. But I think he's been in form. In all, let's say at least 3 games or so, yeah, he's shown good form. And that's not to say that he's been bad all the while. The only issue is that, yeah, he before now he hadn't performed consistently. Yeah, but that's by the way. Let's see anything else here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way, and I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this particular evening. It's still 9 p.m. CST for me. So if you're just joining us, if you haven't drop the like on the video. Please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 84 people following the show on YouTube, and we're still stuck on 32 likes. If half of you like the video, we'd have at least 40 likes. All right, what else do we have here? All players deserve equal chances. I agree. Garnacho is on form right now, and the defense is BS. Enzo, Caicedo, and James is enough to cover Garnacho's alleged defensive weaknesses. Okay, we don't know what the manager is going to do on the day, but we will see. But that's fine. Wait, what else? Again, if you have any questions and you're in the chat, drop it and we'll try to address it. Bans, any other position you want to talk about? Do you think we'd see Reece James and Malo Gusto on the pitch on that day?
Yeah, I said that. I still think that Malo Gusto and Rhys James are going to be on the field of play for the
If both if
PSG game.
both if both are going to be on the pitch, which means one player
One
will make way. Who makes way?
right back, right back will go for Gusto, and James will stay in front of the defenders, the centre backs. So whenever there is any assistance that he can provide to Gusto, he can always go to the flanks and assist. So it's going to be the same as the game we played with them in MetLife, and I don't see how both players, one of them will be on the bench. I believe all two are going to start on the day, and I have so many reasons because whenever James, you can check all the games that James was in the middle. Even if we lost that game, we were the better team on the day. So I feel like if he's playing in the center, he's going to be more effective and he's going to provide regardless of whatever we do. And I believe as game progresses, Lavia is going to come in, Santos is also going to come in. And as I said earlier on, I heard one person saying
Sanchez
that
might actually start.
I don't see Santos starting this game. I honestly don't see he's going to start. If he's going to start, that means Malo Gusto is going to be on the bench. And if Malo Gusto is on the bench, James is going to take the right back. You don't want PSG to seize the occasion and we will be on the we will be under pressure. But if you
You
have
don't want
Gusto,
that to happen against PSG. If you
yes.
if
If you
you're
get
too
exposed,
I think conserved, I don't think if that is that the correct word. I think you're inviting trouble. They've
trouble.
yeah.
Exactly. And this Chelsea team, I know when they are having a bad day, they can invite you to score more goals and we will end up losing the games in the first half. So, in order to avoid that, you need to control the game. You have to do what is perfect for the team. And when we go out there and we have Gusto, I know this guy is not going to be cautious. Um,
Rosenior.
Mendes. I know he and Hakimi.
I
They
mean,
will
they don't
def.
know how to play differently.
Yeah,
I think it'd be accurate to say that.
I know they are going to come forward unless this time around they've learned their lesson well. Because if you have someone like Estevao and Gusto on that right side and you go through deep, you are really inviting trouble for yourself. That is why I feel like if we get exposed, they are going to batter us. And but if they get exposed, obviously we can go out there and destroy them. And I feel like it's going to be an interesting game. As I said, I don't know how Chelsea is going to look like on Wednesday. If we see the best Chelsea, then I think we are in for a good game. But if we go out there and we fumble, we are just going to be in serious trouble. And as they are seeking for a revenge, that will be the best time for them to, destroy our team. And it will be very difficult for us to recover.
I think the revenge mindset for me, I think that's an added pressure on their end, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is one thing. If you are a smart coach, you will just tell them not to try any revenge or think about the game they played
But
with Chelsea.
unfortunately, it's difficult.
They have to be themselves. If they really want to beat Chelsea, they have to be themselves. find a way to beat Chelsea, because as it stands right now, they know it's very fresh in their mind, and nothing has really changed over the years. Just that one coach is no more, and one goalie is also no more from both ends. So it's still going to be a replica of what happened in summer. And they I don't think they are too stupid to think that although Chelsea drew with Burnley, and for that matter, it's going to be an easy game for them. And Chelsea is also not going to think that a PSG have been at a very bad form lately and they lost against Monaco. And for that matter, we're going to run over them. Both sides are going to be very cautious. But if they open the game, as I told you, you don't want to do that with Chelsea. If you open the game, they are going to destroy you. If you bring a lot of open game to them, you need to let Chelsea figure out some things, especially if you are defending very well. You pack their defense and you get them on the break. That would be the best thing for you to do. But if you go toe to toe with Chelsea, this current side, they know how to do it. They are very quick to move from one box to the other, and I believe PSG knew or they are aware of that situation, and they are going to be very very careful the way they approach it. But all in all, I believe the midfield pairing will be very excellent. You have Casado, you have Enzo, you have James in the middle. That would be the best thing. And along the line, if we have two goals up, and you can bring in Santos and Lavia to also come and experience the game, that would be perfect. So I believe the starting lineup, if you want me to go
No,
with this.
we're not doing we're not doing lineup today. Don't
Okay,
give it away.
okay. So
Yeah.
I think that's how it's going to look like on Wednesday.
We're just you could say looking at what you could call the contentious positions where we're not too certain, given what we've seen from the manager's selection process of late. We're that had those things, those you could say observations of us have led to us not being too sure what player was starting what position. And for instance, we we've taken our time to come to discuss whether we think Garnacho or Pedro Neto will start on the left hand side. Um,
Coachy,
but
let me say this. Let me
yeah,
say
go
this.
ahead.
I think sometimes the fans, the way they see football is totally different if you have played the game before or you really understand the game. Trust me, a lot of people are saying Ganacho, Ganacho, Ganacho. And I don't think they want to do that. And let's be real here. If something goes wrong, that same people are going to crucify Ganacho. They'll be like, oh, why Ganacho is starting this game? He should leave my football club. He should do this. We know Ganacho is
We
having
don't know how to support our players, really.
like Garnacho had a very good game against Aston Villa and probably Wrexham. Let's see how Aston Villa has felt lately, like their performance lately. They are like deep in form. So if Garnacho had a good game, I'm not going to be so excited that I mean I'll be excited as a Chelsea fan, but I'm not going to be excited and carry away for the performance against Aston Villa. You are going to play against PSG, where you are trying to pair Garnacho with Hakimi. Let's be real here. If you don't take care and you put Garnacho against Hakimi, Hakimi is going to swallow Garnacho. It's a fact. And if he cripple Garnacho and we don't get the opportunity to get a very good result in the first round, that means we are out of the Champions League. But you can go out there, Portuguese international, he has seen it all. He has played with this guy on the day during the summertime he destroyed Hakimi. Why don't you put him there? This is a very simple equation. Put Pedro Neto there. You don't want to think that Pedro Neto has also been having a bad form lately. So for that matter, there is no need for him to play this game. This is the game you have to put him there. The game that he was struggling. What led to that game or who were playing around him? Any player playing around Neto will also activate his potential. That is how football works. Lionel Messi can play in a very bad team and they will still they are still going to lose against certain teams. So it will depend on the players that are playing around each and every one. If Pedro Neto is playing around some bad players, obviously his performance is not going to be that great. So we should just analyze everything and know that Garnacho can come in, but it will be very suicidal for you to start Garnacho against PSG. This is a very high volume game, and you don't want to make that mistake. You really have to be
But you
very
know
cautious.
he could start if the manager decides to be better off given his form. If he decides it'd be better off having him
No,
on the
Kochi,
bench.
I would say, I will tell you right away, there is no way Rosenior is going to start Garnacho in favor of maybe like he's going to start Garnacho instead of Pedro Neto. Definitely he's going to do the right thing, and I don't think Garnacho start this game. I can bet with anybody on the chat. There is no way Garnacho is going to start. I've given you my first 11, but you said we're not talking about the lineup today.
No, we're not.
Whenever
No,
we're
we're
doing
just
that,
yeah.
I will
Mhm.
just give you the first 11, those who are going to start. I don't see Garnacho starting ahead of
All right.
Pedro Neto.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. We'll find out in a few days who's correct, whether Chalma is correct. And Chalma says that apart from the assist to Pedro against Villa, let's not pretend Gusto can stink. Even the way he started that Villa game was poor. I think Gusto, I'm not defending him. He could say he has hardly ever performed consistently since joining Chelsea. And you could argue that especially true under Enzo Maresca. Why? Yeah, he's trying to turn him into something that even though that he isn't, but even at that he was still effective. He was still he gets you could say he was still useful to Enzo Maresca in a lot of ways. For instance, when he inverts, he and you could say ensures that we have numerical advantage over the opposition at any given time. That worked really. He did that effectively under Enzo Maresca and helped him win the trophies he won. But yeah, in terms of operating as a traditional right back, um, because you could say he hasn't played there consistently. There's all the managers are almost always trying to get him to do stuff differently. But I'm not concerned about him. He's still very young too, but he has that talent. He can actually create chances really. And what I like, but in all honesty, he hasn't done that consistently. What I like about the crosses from Gusto is that he adds pace to them. So whenever he gets it right, you don't need to apply a lot of power in terms of heading or maybe directing it into the back of the net. You just all you do is just direct it towards the goal with the direction, and yeah. But I think he can only get better. But I think it'd be helpful at his age to play consistently in a particular manner and in a particular position. So yeah, but even at that, he's still useful. To the speaker, I also think James. He said, I also think James and Gusto will start, but you start Palmer from the bench and prefer Neto over Garnacho. You think we will be too I like that funny comment. We're just having a conversation here. We're just having fun, and I'm sure, yeah. And you sound like people. You do sound like a very fun person, and I like that. I don't like people that take things personally in terms of debating lineup or so. But yeah, I like your response to show. Yeah, it's fun, all fun for you, nothing personal, and I like that. But here's the thing. I think it's gonna be a good game for neutrals. More importantly, and I think whatever happens, I need us to go at it. If you try to defend deep and hit them on a break, you are inviting trouble and you're gonna lose. So the way to get at PSG is go at them, exploit the tons of spaces they're leaving behind. If you get the first goal, you're most likely going to win if you can defend well. If you've been watching PSG, I don't think Hakimi has had a good season. I think all of them as a team actually. Probably given the tons of games they played last season, I think it's coming back to haunt them this season.
And Kochi, you know why?
Yeah.
Sometimes people perform so well because they were not too familiar with their opponents. But the moment people get to realize that hey, this team can be very dangerous, they work extra hard. This is what is happening right now against PSG. I can tell you that all the matches they played last time in the Champions League, if you should give those matches back to them, they might lose some of them. They are not going to win all of them, all because right now teams have found out that they are very dangerous and they are not going to give them the opposition that was given to them previously. So people shouldn't think that PSG is having a bad time, but they are not a good side. They are a good side,
No, I
but
mean
just
that
that,
doesn't mean they're not a good side. We're just
yeah,
saying they're being poor because they've not been performing at the level at which they performed last season.
yeah, you can argue that. But what about playing with Chelsea? It has nothing to do with playing with Chelsea. The form doesn't really matter. There are certain games the form really doesn't matter. Look at Chelsea playing against Man City with under 21 coach. We went out there to Etihad, and I think we had one of our best games on the day. So sometimes football is very strange. You can never predict a certain game based on the performance of a certain team. If you do that, you are really going to make a big mistake. For them to be having a poor run doesn't mean against Chelsea the story is going to be the same. What if all they are thinking about is just to beat Chelsea and qualify to the next stage? And that's how it looks like. All this time they've been dreaming to have Chelsea because the way we trounced them at MetLife, they are yet to recover. So in their mind, they need to meet Chelsea along the line in the Champions League for a sweet revenge. That is what they've been thinking about. So I wouldn't pay attention to their bad form in some, competitions and in some matches. It could be a bait, as I've been saying it. Against Chelsea, that is when we're going to see whether they are really doing bad or they are still the PSG we knew from last season. So people shouldn't make that big mistake. We have to be very careful approaching the game. And I know the players are also very careful. This time around, I don't think people are going to see them as the underdogs. So it seems PSG are poised for the game and we should be prepared for anything that happens on Wednesday. The worst thing that will happen is to concede like 2 goals to 0 or 3-0. That will be over. That one I can assure you that will be over. We
If
should
we
go out
lose
there.
that game, we're most likely going to lose the second leg.
Yeah, if you go out there and you
Yeah,
get
because in
two
the
goals,
second leg it will then be all out to get a goal. But I
if they
think we're
put two
capable of
goals in the
actually
net,
winning the first leg. Yeah.
if they put 2 goals in the net or even 3-1 or even 2-1 or 2-0, you are doomed. There is no way you can recover unless something extraordinary happen at Stamford Bridge. So the first leg game is really very important. We need to go out there, get the best results. The players shouldn't think about the form of PSG right now. It doesn't really matter. It's some they are rivals, so it doesn't really matter who has the best form or who doesn't. They have to go out there, do whatever is necessary, and make sure that at least they will run away with a point. The worst result should be a point taken away from them in Paris. And when they come to Stamford Bridge, we can just settle everything and make sure we qualify to the next stage of the competition.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. And here, Chalma, did I read that one? Chalma says, if you've been watching PSG, I don't think I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, they've been. You can say they're tired. Really, they look tired sometimes. Big up to you too, Julius. I'm more Mike and yeah, West African bro. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. He says, "And big up to your panelists and those." His name is Bans. Those in the chat, a very insightful discussion. Really enjoying it. Thank you so much. Glad to hear from you. We keep it interactive here. Everybody's opinion matters. And let us know if we at any time we started to become an echo chamber so that we can make changes. But we're never an echo chamber. You send the panelists fight each other. We call it fight, but it's usually debate. We don't have to agree. We understand that if we all agree, then something is quite wrong. To be good, and he calls you buns. Barnes,
It's,
you know how to
let
get
them
back
know
to
it's
him.
Bams.
Spell his name. Spell his name wrong. Then you see him fighting. And I want to see Modmana say something to him. Every time Modmana says something to him, he goes, shut the F up to Barnes to Modmana. He starts fighting with him. And then the next minute he's gonna say good night. I'm going to bed. All right, more likes, people. More likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 100 people following the show on YouTube and 43 likes. If half of you like the video, we'll have at least 50 likes. Let's get the likes up, people. The likes do go a long way. And Dwayne O'Connor says Garnacho will cook. I back him. I back him too. If he starts, I back him because there will be tons of space for him to exploit. And yeah, that's the sort of game he will enjoy himself. I'm not scared of Paris Saint-Germain. Unless our game plan is horrible. If the game plan is to sit back and hit them on a break, then we're definitely losing. But I don't think Rosenior would do that. I think he knows them well enough to know that you beat them by going at them. And that's it. They don't like it. They like to control the game. They don't like it when you're. And I think we can be more physical. Hopefully that don't lead to us. You can say getting a man sent off or so. But if we can manage the physical, how we apply ourselves physically, I think we will unsettle them just like we did in the Club World Cup final. Form, it does matter, but form matters because it can mean that the team will not on the day do enough to win a game. But as the opposition, if you go into the game with the mindset that your opposition is in a very bad form, then that's a dangerous mindset. You could end up losing even to a team that's at the very bottom of a table. So the best thing to do when a team is in a poor form, you take your time, watch them, take note of areas where they struggle. Because for every team that is struggle, that is pain point. There's a particular area where they struggle. Some teams will be they will do very well. Some then towards the end of the game they still concede. We've been there before. If that's the case, then you need to pressure them more towards the end of the game, or you find a way to waste time a bit. You can say get to that point where they struggle a lot. Then take advantage of it. It happens. So for every team that is struggling, every team that is in a very bad form, pay attention. That's a pain point, and you can actually exploit that. All right, let's see what else do we have here. The under 21 coach win. I'm not sure what you're referencing there. I didn't watch any under 21 games. Why are Chelsea? Why should we be careful? At the same time, you need to play. Being careful, you don't need to. For me, I think in this case doesn't mean you should go into the game and defend and with the plan to hit them on a break. No, you need to play with good balance. You need to also be defensively cautious too. You don't want to focus on attack, and leave tons of space in behind, which you know they're capable of exploiting. So form matters because PSG this season they are on and off because they are not running away with the league title. They're not. They're not performing at the same level that they did last season. What else do we have? We already have the blueprint to beat PSG. Even Monaco did the same thing. Do you really think if we try to approach the game the same way we did against them in the Club World Cup, do you think it will work? Maybe because I think it'd be accurate to say that to argue that Luis Enrique doesn't know how to play differently. But I think you'd be making a mistake if you approach it the same way. I think he'd make some tweaks to ensure we don't get the better out of them, the best out of the best of them on the day. Bans. I don't say Burns. Did you ever hear me say? But you can call him Bams too. But what the heck is Buns? You don't eat him.
Is that
He's looking
Tobago?
for a fight. Chalma says, I back my coach. I back him too. I trust Rosenior. He's proven to be a very intelligent manager. I was concerned that he doesn't know how to be, he doesn't know how to be, you can say, pragmatic. And up close, he's actually proven that he does know how to be pragmatic. But he's never scared of going at it. I get it, with the exception of our cup game against Arsenal for reasons, tangible reasons at the time. You can say he was His hands were tied in terms of the players available to him at the time. If he could beat the same PSG with Strasbourg, why can't he do that now with a much stronger squad, especially with PSG looking shaky at the moment? That's a solid argument. But something I want to remind you is this: in football, 1+1 doesn't always equal 2. Yeah, and that's the reason why we have, what's it called, underdogs, which we were going into the Club World Cup final. Not a lot of people gave us a chance, except Thierry Henry. He will respond in a bit. Where's what? We can just stroll in and beat PSG like it's a walk in the park. They are still a top side. So Modmana is actually paying attention to the conversation. So good. We're making adjustment to the AI and it's behaving like a human being these days, and we like it. All right. Let's talk about Tabejo. Even though we're switching topics, I want to hear your opinion on whether you think the manager should start Garnacho or Pedro Neto. I think we're most likely going to see Garnacho if in fact, again, has the courage or the cojones, if you want, because it's looking like he's going to drop Robert Sanchez on the day. I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to look back if he feels like Garnacho, yes, because he's in a better form, irrespective of whether he helps defensively or not, that he's going to start him on the day. I think he'd do it. But to go, while Barnes speaks on whether he thinks Hato will get a chance to start, I want to hear from you. Your thoughts. Do you think we're going to see Pedro Neto or Alejandro Garnacho? But Barnes, let's hear you. Do you think Hato gets a chance?
Ah, I would like to say no.
Okay, let's hear you.
No. Why? Because Cucurella was out and he got the chance to, cover for Cucurella. We all know that Cucurella is our reliable and able left back, and most of these guys, they are still learning. They are up and coming, and as I told you, you don't want to kill their confidence or whatever they've built over the weeks, and it is very good for you to approach or select them carefully. Against PSG, some of these players, I honestly don't think they are going to start. You can't look at Cucurella and you tell Cucurella you have to play from the bench. It's going to be difficult. And he's like a very reliable left back, one of the underrated players out there. And for you to bench him, if anything goes wrong, a lot of people are going to come for you. So it's very wise for him to start Kukureya ahead of Hato. I like Hato, and I still believe he has a long way. He's still young, and he has a lot of years at Chelsea. He should still do whatever he's doing. If he gets the opportunity, he should make sure make use of that opportunity. But for this game, although I like him, I don't think he will be the best person to start. I will start Kukureya ahead of Hato.
Okay, and you did you sense that that's a chance we might see both on the pitch?
No,
You
that
don't
will
think
not
so?
happen.
With
No.
Kukurea, you can say with Hato in an advanced position. Listen,
Mm.
the one thing I want to mention right now is that I think there's a lot we're still learning about Rosenior. We don't
Yeah.
have a lot to work with in terms of being able to accurately predict what he's going to do.
Honestly, his
But from
game.
what I've seen,
Yeah.
Hato is actually capable of benching Kukurea and doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Kukurea is a small experience, and he has that erratic, chaotic way of applying himself on the pitch, but to complete it effective way. He's
Mm.
capable of unsettling even one of the best players in world football. But Hato is more equipped, a better dribbler, more technically gifted. He has a good lip in him too. But
Yeah.
I'm happy we have both. No regret. Whoever starts, I'd support that person on the day. But I think if it's not, if he chooses not to have both on the pitch, I think most likely Kukurea. But go
Yeah,
ahead, what you were saying.
yeah, but I'm saying that I like the fact that we have a manager who can manage his game very well. Rosenior, if you pay attention, always get it right, and everybody can attestify to the fact that the games that we lost, we were the better side. So for him to go out there, obviously, even if Hato doesn't start, he will probably find a way of giving him the opportunity in the same game. Unlike Tobago's friend Maresca. Maresca was very stubborn, very stubborn coach, and sometimes it is so difficult for him to make quick changes, which I think Rosenia is far ahead of him. You have to like a coach who likes to do a lot of changes. When he sees that something is not going right, he will definitely make some changes. So I believe he will still stick to Cucurella, Spanish international, very experienced, and at least give Hato some few opportunities, probably during the end of the game. But I don't see Hato playing ahead of Cucurella since Cucurella is fit and ready to go. He will definitely start ahead of Hato. That one I can assure you.
Yeah. Again, whoever starts, I'm just happy. We're blessed to have both. Hato looks like the real deal. We've always known that was the case, but some Chelsea fans lost it after that horrible outing against Karabakh in the Champions League. Which even before then he was showing signs. If you again, people that understood football knew at the time that understand football knew at the time that he just needed time to bed in probably. But yeah, he's proven to be, yeah, he's worth it. So he says Pedro Neto because Garnacho defensively is still not good enough. That's a solid argument, but we might actually see Garnacho. I will call him Bonds. Okay, I'm gonna tell him how to spell your name wrong, so you get angry. Mod Manor has responded to your question. Yeah, he says Borov. Okay, that's a fight with him. So I'm not saying that. If Kukurea has a rough game coming back from injury, we might see Hato come on early in the game. I agree. I agree. So if Kukurea starts and looks shaky, Hato will come. But I think what was the reason for his absence? Actually,
Who?
was Kukurea? Was this suspension?
No, I think Correa was out for some injury, but not a very serious injury. He was out for some few weeks and he came back. He hasn't been suspended. He was on the injury list. I've
Oh,
forgotten.
okay.
Yeah, I think he was on the injury list. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, what happens? Still, I don't want to see Rhys James in the middle. While we have Lavia, Isugo, and Santos,
Jesus Christ.
I think Rhys James over those people. Maybe Santos, maybe, but James has excellent vision and actually does well in the midfield, in my opinion. But if the manager decides he wants him there, I'll take it. He's not the first to do it. Um, who are the watch champions? Okay, you're having a conversation with Mod Manor there. He has responded. He says every coach is stubborn, bro. Come on, we all know both Tosin and Benoit. Whatever you say there, why is he? Why does he keep playing them? I think rotation,
Oh boy,
rotation,
Bego.
because he doesn't want to risk a situation where we'd have one of our only fit and good enough centre backs getting injured. Why would if I see had I seen Chalobah on the pitch against Wrexham, I'd be furious. I'd rather him go get another academy kid and play him. But Tosin actually, if you paid attention to one of the reasons why I believe he was selected to start, you see that he got the job done. Like
Mhm.
he won 4 out of how many area duels, which yeah, they have a very good a player. Wrexham has a player who's excellent aerially. It worked to a certain extent, but the team overall, we saw a lack of cohesion and disjointed displays, and that's down to the fact to the fact that yeah, we made 11 changes.
Bekochi, you know
Yeah,
Wrexham, we nearly paid for disrespecting them. Let's not forget that.
I mean, would it be accurate to say we disrespected them? We had to do what we had to do. We had a
But
very
what I'm
important
saying
game
is,
coming up. Yeah.
People think that it's a very easy side, but they knocked out Nottingham Forest, and record shows that they've beaten Arsenal before, they've beaten Manchester United before. So at least when it got to Chelsea's time, we never allowed them to knock us out. We were able to advance to the next stage. So I believe we did what we are supposed to do. But on the other hand, a lot of the fans think that it's an easy game and some of the guys didn't do well. At least Wrexham are advancing. They came from a very lower division, and they are trying to push hard to come to the Premier League. So it's a very good side, and I felt like we were very lucky to have advanced into the next stage of the competition.
All right, we have Jay on the panel, but I want to catch up before I go to him. Same here. I think Hato has a higher potential and is more technically gifted than Kukurea with Rosenior's trust. And if he improves his physicality in defending, he could end up playing like Nuno Mendes. And his pace, Jesus Christ. I think I've seen like 3-4 occasions where he's recovered, sprinted back like shoo, and put in last ditch tackle to stop us from conceding. Whereas we already had a few defenders close to the opposition player, but before they could get close, Hato he arrives like what's this kids kids superhero show, like rocket speed. My goodness, I like that kid. Yeah, I agree with you, really. Hi to you too. See you, Eugene. Nice to see you. Let's go. 117 people following the show, 50 likes. We can do a lot better than that. And that's my assistant in the chat. I appreciate you, Eugene, for finding time to join the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. We can play Saw and Achibang, both CBs, but we don't see them on the training page. Yeah, but just look, we won. We've moved on. And I don't think against the next opposition would see the manager make that many changes. I agree. They've been poor, really. Badia Chile, I'm not sure what happened to him. I liked him and I used to hype him a lot. Josh Champong saved us. Yeah. So, I didn't know you were a Frenchman. Yeah, his recovery again pace is excellent and he's quick. My goodness. I love that kid. Hato has been a very good, but Kukurea is a monster. The way they apply themselves, they're different, and I'm happy we have both. And I think I think we've seen a hint that there are certain games which see them both on the pitch. We've seen hints of that. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's been games where we had both on the pitch for a few minutes, not for the entirety of a particular game. Hato has very good, but he's very good. But Kukurea is a monster. I agree. 1v1 defender on this planet, just empty his pockets. I like this one. Let me read it through. By the way, just empty his pocket and see how many world-class players you're going to see. I really like that one. I think he deserves fireworks too. Where is the fireworks? I like that particular comment. Yeah, celebrate it, man. Celebrate it. I like it. The cuckoo is special, very erratic, but very yeah, effective approach. Comes across as erratic, chaotic, but still he gets the job done. And opposition players hate him for that erratic approach, but he knows exactly what he's doing whenever he goes on players like that. But we have Jay in the house. Jay, before I come to you, just give me 1 second here. But I loved that comment, I have to say. French is good when you want to send the claim. Shut up. Just go away. Hi, guys. I'm surprised to observe how PSG are scared of Chelsea. I watched some French shows, and they are not very confident. What? Look, it's us that don't respect this. We're not perfect, but we can get a job done on the day. We still have a lot of vulnerabilities, especially in the defensive area. But that's, by the way, Jay. I'm gonna bring you up to speak right now. I do hope you're doing well. Let's start with the goalkeeper argument, just to bring you up to par, if you don't mind, Bans, the goalkeeping department, signs are Jorgensen will start against PSG. But we don't know whether the manager is trying to get, you can say, psych up maybe Sanchez to get him to do better on the day. Because it'd be accurate to say he has advantage over Jorgensen given the fact he's played against them and he was brilliant on the day also. Shot stopping and distribution on the day, given it majority of which were long balls. Keeping it close, I think is the aspect where Jorgensen is the much better of the two goalkeeper. So let's get your opinion, making a case for the goalkeeper you think will start on the day and which one you think the manager will eventually select on the day.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Big
Big
up,
up the
Jay.
chat. Big up
Nice to have you
everyone.
on the panel as always, bro.
Yeah. Look, we have been discussing about this goalkeeping thing for for a few weeks now. I think
Mm-hmm.
that Arsenal game, quite frankly, and obviously triggered this debate throughout the fan base, and it had to be triggered because uh, there was an event. The action was quite big. Your first choice goalkeeper, first team goalkeeper, was changed immediately after that match, and I have said it earlier as well that. It's more confirmed now after this Wrexham game, and it will be 100% confirmed after the PSG game. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there were signs, and it was clear to me that and that is what I was arguing with people, that it is not just a simple action to send a message to Sanchez that your position is not secure and that you need to work hard. And there can be a situation like rotation, right? So you need
Mm-hmm.
to be more tentative. It was not just that. It was not just a action to send him a message. I think it was a clear-cut plan from Rosenior. I think obviously he has been thinking this for a while, and the Arsenal performance was the final nail in the coffin, which pushed Rosenior to, have faith in himself and bring Jorgensen as the number one. I think it's very much tactical. I think it's very clear. When he first arrived at the scene at Chelsea, a lot of guys, including me, were arguing because we have seen him use Pender. The goalkeeper is one of the most important part of his philosophy and tactical approach in football, because that goalkeeper plays so high. He's quite literally another centre back. So that is what he likes to play. That is what his core, depends. His footballing core is depending on how well and what type of goalkeeper it is. So long term, it was never a question to me that the future of Sanchez is not here under Rosenior for sure. And now it come quite early. I never thought that it would be a change that can be made in between this season. But yeah, it was obvious that he wanted to do this for a while because Sanchez, we know his weakness is clear and obvious. He's not good on the ball. He's very, very much, nervous kind of guy. He makes the centre back nervous. He makes the stadium nervous, and he makes the people who are watching, million miles away through screens in TVs like us nervous. So
And
he does
PSG is capable
reciprocate.
they're capable of pressing him into, you could say,
Yeah,
going
very
into
much.
that
These are
zone.
world-class players. PSG has
Yeah.
world-class players, really fast, and they are working under a coach who is one of the greatest in the club football that we have seen, especially in that Barca team. So he had a reputation as well, and they have guys. I think quite a few guys who are in the top 10 or top 20 of the Ballon d'Or. So there's no need for me to explain to you how much of a threat they are going to pose to you. So I think it was. I won't say it was nice or not because he has to prove himself, Jorgensen. He will get the opportunity. I'm pretty sure that he's going to start against Jorgensen. For me, it's not a doubt. There's still 1% chance that we can be proved wrong again. But I still think that Jorgensen is going to start. He's much more composed on the ball. He does initiate that build-up play, and I think that is the very very much base where Rosenior wants to build it. Sanchez, whenever he tries to build from the back, it's pretty nervous. He doesn't really put confidence on the center backs that are ahead of him, and it's quite late and quite early as well. It's not precise, to kick that ball away. He's not precise. It's always a matter of few seconds late or few seconds early, and that is definitely going to impact the build-up when you move forward. That is not the case with Jorgensen. He is really, really good on that part, but obviously he has his own weaknesses which he needs to improve. I hope the confidence that the coach is giving him can be one of the reasons for him to
I mean,
improve
that
other
can
parts
make a
of his
world of
game.
difference on a player. Showing a player you trust him. And I think Rosenior, I think we're seeing things from afar, but we could see that the demeanor of a lot of our players have changed. The way they apply themselves on the pitch, they seem to have more freedom, and that speaks volumes to the fact that Rosenior is a good manager and can actually motivate players to give a lot more. And you could say Jorgensen did very well against Aston Villa with 3 high claims, and that's the first I've ever seen him do that as a Chelsea player. Except if he'd done it before and I missed it. For me, that's a good
Yeah,
sign. But go ahead.
yeah, you're absolutely right. I think confidence is one thing. We have seen it, we have seen this thing with Sanchez. When all the criticism was on Sanchez, Enzo Maresca was not really, letting it impact his decision making, and he trusted the guy. And ultimately, that decision making favored him and paid its result because Sanchez was literally one of the best goalkeepers this season till the Arsenal game, I would say. So I think similar thing can be said about and done about Jorgensen as well. And we have seen with other players on the pitch that whenever the coach gives them the confidence, they comes out and improve themselves and the whole team as well. So it's very much important months for him till the end of the season because that is going to impact the decision making on who are the goalkeepers that we are going to sign and who among them two, that is Sanchez and Jorgensen, who will stay with us. And if Jorgensen has a brilliant few months till the end of the season, I won't be surprised if he is the number one or definitely number two. Staying there with the club for the long future and makes a U-turn from the immediate departure that we all were expecting from him in the summer. So yeah, it's just a wait and watch game with him. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be trusted and given chances in all the big games, that is your Premier League games and your Champions League games now. So yeah, you have to wait and watch him. He needs to improve. Look, we are really weak in the air, right?
We are,
The
yeah.
aerial threat from set pieces, we are really poor, and that is directly going to impact the goalkeeper as well. Because people are no kids, right? Teams are no kids. They are watching it. They are studying teams, and it's a obvious, breaking news in the footballing world that Chelsea are really poor in the air, especially through set pieces. So that we should target them. So every team is going to do that. They are going to target us and hit us on the points where we are weak. That is our set piece department from the corner. Hence, there comes the role of Jorgensen to come out and claim those goals, which he has not really shown on a greater magnitude. But yeah, that is one thing that he needs to improve as well. And his shot stopping is something that I'm not fully convinced. Again, time will tell, but I'm not convinced till this point. He can improve that thing as well. I think it's more of a case. This would be the reality, I think, and I think the coach also believes in this that he wants to outscore the team. With Jorgensen's build-up play, with the ball at his feet, I think he is going to be very impactful in the way we are going to build up and initiate the attacks. So right, and that is going to directly help us score more
Even with
goals. So we are going to
hand
score
thrown
more goals
distribution,
than
he's
the
very good.
opponent.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I was going to
We
say
are going,
even his hand
yeah,
thrown distribution, he's very good at it. He decides quickly what to
exactly.
do with the ball.
Yeah, so it's not that easy, but I still want to say, like, we will score two more goals with Jorgensen as our goalkeeper, and we will concede one more goal uh, if Sanchez was there. So it's a matter of he has accepted the reality that Jorgensen is not going to make world-class saves, so we may concede one or two goals extra. But at the same time, with his ability on the ball and his role in the build-up play, we might score 2-3 goals extra. So I think that is the reality that the coach has accepted, and that is something that I am also expecting from this team going forward.
Yeah. All right. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat. The next question for you, one you all caught up. Garnacho versus Pedro Neto. And Chelma 24. He's made a strong case for Garnacho, which makes sense for so many reasons. The key difference between Liam Rosenior and Enzo Maresca is that Rosenior doesn't exile or throw his players under the bus. protects them, speaks very highly of him. I think, but I'm suspecting that he's that sort of person. Just as Dante has said before, if he loses his SHIT, he's not going to look back. That's what he would say. But one thing I like the most, he's very proactive and also doesn't let sentiments drive his decision making process. He gives his players opportunities which motivates them, and Hato is a revival example. I'm not saying that poor performances should stay, but he works with what he has in his squad, and yeah, get the best out of him because you just cannot change that now. It's really that simple. That's Modman having a conversation with somebody, and Lucilla says that Rui Costa, PSG midfielder, is out, and PSG has no decent recovery. I hope Caicedo will do business with Dembele, who won't be full recovered from injury. I think they're just patching him up to make him available for that day. And Devon Fletcher 780 says, I am siding with the argument that we are a lucky team, just that players who we've selected never play up to scratch and make it harder for us. But we've got it over the line in sports anytime. Okay, need luck. All right, thank you for that conversation. I'm not going to say I fully understand what you're trying to say. It's a bit mixed up there, but apologies for that. The most dangerous players are Hakimi, Desiduo, Bakola, but if Dembele will play, Bakola will start from the bench. In this game, Rosenior should at no point think about introducing Badishile and Arabiola. We need to sign up Monaco's Konashchi. Is that how you pronounce it? I honestly don't know him that well. I need to research him. But I know your football knowledge is top notch. So if you suggest a player, yeah, I'm willing to go look at that player and educate myself on how good that player can be. So Jay, coming back to you, Jay. Garnacho or Pedro Neto. I'm open to either of the two starting, but I'm saying I think the manager might go for more experience and a player who's proven again to be willing to sacrifice the offensive aspect of his game to ensure that we stay defensively solid throughout the game in Pedro Neto. But let's hear you.
Look, I think this has been a conundrum, and that is for two positions actually. And you can, apply the same logic in both of these departments where we have to select two among the four. You got the informed player, and then you got the, traditional or the experienced guy, the go-to guy, which has been trusted or is trusted in the big matches, and is helpful for the team in the last few years, maybe 1 or 2 years. That is the experience that we can talk about, and that is your Pedro Neto, on the wings, and your Marc Cucurella. He is also the one with the experience a lot. But now you have a question and you have a conundrum, you have a debate because there are two guys in the same position who are in a better form. That is Jorel Hato and Alejandro Garnacho. So who you are going to trust? Whether you're going with the informed guys or you're going to still trust the ones who have much better experience and who have the thing called know-how about big games, how to approach them, how to deal with them, because form is one thing and dealing with the atmosphere of the bigger occasions is one thing. And my answer personally, there is nothing wrong in, if someone is selecting Garnacho ahead of Neto or if someone is selecting Hato ahead of Cucurella, there is nothing wrong with that. But personally, I am a guy who always, trust and who always believe in the psychological games and the occasions as well. So for me, it's always going to be the guys with the more experience and who have a habit or a history, of know-hows. So for me, it's Pedro Neto for sure and Cucurella for sure because they are the ones who have played against PSG. They are the ones who have experienced, bigger occasions a lot. They have played multiple finals as well, and they know how to win over the atmosphere that is created away at the away grounds. So for me, it is going to be Pedro Neto and Garnacho. Now, obviously, Neto more so is a case where he's not in good form at all. He has been suspended with that red card, and when he came back against Wrexham, he looked really, really bad. For me, I think he was one of the worst players on the pitch in that Wrexham game. But it could be a case of him being not up to or motivated for that game, because the game is obviously a cup game against a championship side. So there is a case that he might be saving himself for the bigger occasion, that is the PSG game. And I am hopeful that he can produce something similar to what we saw at the Club World Cup final. Whether he plays on the right or the left, there is more possibility that he's going to play on the left hand side. So yeah, do your job, be precise, do your things. Do not to be Hazard, because you're not Hazard. You don't have those qualities. You don't have those type of abilities. Just be direct. Give the players and the midfielders in behind runs so they can get you, and we can have some attacks. I think he needs to focus on the limited action, and that is one thing that I loved Garnacho for, because with the limited time that he's got at Chelsea, I think he has taken criticism really well. He has accepted that he is limited in some parts of the area, some parts of his skills, and he's
And
not
has
going to
gone to
test them.
work trying to get better at those areas.
Yeah, but again, the other case is that he is not actually, doing crazy things. He knows that he is not good at some parts of his game, so he's not really targeting and trying them. He's being focused on what the coach and what he can do best. That is making runs. That is giving opportunities for the midfielders to, find him. That is breaking the defensive line. Because he is good at those things, creating a scenario where he can have a 1v1 opportunity, but rather than taking the 1v1, he gets the ball quick and passes it to the central areas where he can find one of Enzo Fernandez or Joao Pedro. So, realizing that you are limited and not triggering that action and focusing on the things that you are good at is the simplest thing that you can do to help the team as a whole. And that is something I want Pedro Neto to do from that left hand side, because sometimes he tries to do a lot. He tries to be that Cole Palmer or Joao Pedro type player, which he is not. He cannot do that sometimes. He is very direct winger. He is a different type of winger, and he needs to make runs like Garnacho, and he needs to help the defense as well, because that is one ability that we always associate him with. That is, he's going to track back and put the pressure on the PSG players, so we can have an additional body when we are facing any counter attack. So yeah, the question for me is not that big. I am still going to go with Pedro Neto, but yeah, I won't be surprised if there is an early substitution for him for him instead of the in place of Garnacho. So for me, Neto would start. If he's not having the greatest of days, I can imagine us really bringing in Garnacho for 55 or 60 minutes. So yeah, that's how I'm thinking about it.
Mm. One second, please. I'll come back to you. Then we hear whether you think we'd see both Reece James and Malo Gusto on the pitch at the same time on the day. But we have some. Let's give back the microphone to those in the chat and hear what they have to say. My assistant Eugene is in the chat. I've said hello to him. People having good conversations there, and Omoto Kebelo says Estevao must play on the day. We don't know how. I don't think he's fully fit to start that game. But we see, please, we need Estevao. I'd like him to start. The question is he fully fit? Okay, Verbrogen. I need to research some of these players and get to know them even more. But yeah, you can please always send me private messages so I'll research them. Maybe add them to the scouting for Chelsea, because we want to restart that show also. Against PSG, we'll know Hakimi like to go forward, leaving spaces in behind, so it's better to field Garnacho, who is faster. At the same time, as you focus on exploiting the spaces he leaves in behind, you also need to track him, which was what Pedro Neto did in the Club World Cup final. He tracked him effectively, but we didn't exploit spaces that much on the left hand side. We focused on exploiting spaces on the right hand side, whereas Neto on the day, I think, focused on tracking Hakimi, ensuring he doesn't do damage against us. Jay, coming back to you. Yeah, but before I go to Jay, we have 135 people following the show, 141 right now. We're still stuck on 52 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. If you haven't, please Take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. In total, we have 171, 141 on YouTube. The rest shared between X and Facebook, whether equally Coachila doesn't know. But if you don't mind liking the video on X or Facebook and also following our account, we'd really appreciate that. We're growing, and that is down to your support. Unconditional love and support. We sincerely do appreciate that. So, Jay, let's hear you.
Sorry, it's the question about Gusto
Do
and
you
James,
think we'll
right?
see Reece James and Gusto on the pitch on that day at the
Yeah,
same?
yeah, very much. That is very much how I see the lineup to be. Again, questions over the ability of Malo Gusto, right? Against his form has been up and down. A lot of people can't really understand what he offers and what he does. Enzo Maresca really used him in multiple roles, and I think that is one clear scenario where you can understand why he has been misunderstood a lot, why people are not really getting aware about his abilities. And believe me, I have been one of them for a while as well because I couldn't understand his role under Maresca for sure. In the later parts, maybe in the final few weeks of Maresca, yeah, I could see how he was really coming through and impacting the game. But overall, I wasn't really liking his role. But yeah, the main debate is whether we are going to see both of them. The short answer is yes. And that implies that Reece James will be in the midfield and Gusto at the right back position. Look, it's just the same thing. More. It's not a lot about how you're really going to play all your informed guys. It's more of a case where you have to play. If there are people in your team who have the know-hows of winning under extreme conditions away from home against the best teams in the Europe, then you should use them more and more often in those bigger occasions. And we have this thing. We have Gusto and James in a unique way, playing in some different role where it suits the team in the bigger matches. It
And the
has
fluidity you
shown,
get from them sometimes is Reece James will be the one on the right flank putting crosses into the box. You say I think they combine very well, but it's just again the concern is Gusto's form. I think he's been in good form really, but the I think one of his biggest problems is the usage, how the managers utilize him. You say charging him to do different things and not consistently operate as a traditional right back. I don't think that has. I don't think it has. Why I don't think that. While I don't think that has dwarfed his development, at the same time it hasn't really aided his development. But maybe it
yeah.
has aided his understanding of the game. But yeah, you get the point. Go ahead, Jay.
You look, a lot of the times when he's deployed more forward, where he has that hybrid role, it seems like that he's not actually coming back and helping the defense at all, and he is more of a winger or a midfielder, and that is where some people feel the frustration because in those scenarios where Gusto is having 90% of the time in the forward line as a midfielder or as a winger, then people have the frustration that why not just use a proper midfielder and proper winger, because Gusto is obviously not going to be that good on dribbling, he's not going to be that good on 1v1, but that is where I think the hybrid role plays importance. He is the one guy who can play those roles at the forward line, but still can come back and help the defense, which is what I think he has been missing for a while. But I think that is something that he could do again under Rosenior, because obviously the time is not that great with sorry, the amount of time has not been that much under Rosenior. I think it will still take days and weeks for him to imply his ideas more. So yeah, look, Reece James is the most complete player, not only at Chelsea, I would say in the Premier League, and maybe one of those players in the Europe who are the most complete players, football players. It's not about positions. You can have this guy in any part of the field, and you are going to have a basic 7 or 8 out of 10 performance. He's that good in any position. Play him as a centre back, he can score 1 or 2 goals for you in a match. His ball striking is that good. His positioning is that good. So that is why he is a dominant midfielder, and that is why there is a debate and a realistic chance of him starting in the midfield ahead of some proper midfielders and proper bowlers. So his control is really good. I think he offers a vision, in the midfield that the other guys lacks. And no disrespect to the other guys, they are just young. They have time to develop that vision and that ability on the ball, which Reece James already possesses. I think that is where he plays a really, really vital role in the central areas. Remember, under Rosenior, we are targeting the central areas a lot. Our build-up is more focused on the central passes lane,
And
and
a
that
lot
is why
of
Reece
vertical
James.
passes in that central area too.
Exactly, and that is where Reece James really comes in. He has that vision, he has that ability on the ball, he controls the match. I think the midfield role, especially alongside Caicedo, is one of the most important ones when going forward, and that is where I think he can scan a lot better than Santos or say Lavia. So his scanning is really good. I think we are going to improve moving forward, and then obviously in the defense as well, you got the 3-2 build up that is going to stay in the defensive area. And if there is any counter, you can have a verified soldier like these James to intercept and maybe put in the tackle to break the counter attack. So I'm pretty much confident that Reece James is really going to uh, perform at his best in the midfield area. It's just a question about whether Gusto can do the same, which we saw against PSG in that final under Enzo Maresca. Is if he can produce the same performance, then we are going to win this game, even away at PSG at their home ground. I'm that much sure. It's actually critical. It's really, really critical about these two, positions that we are swapping here. Because Reece James, I'm 90% sure that he's going to have a great game for sure. And that is me saying against PSG, a world-class team with a midfield that is considered to be the best in Europe. Especially last year. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
all
not one
on
of those
Gusto for me.
concerned about him starting in the midfield. I know he makes a difference. You could argue he's actually he has good vision too, but he provides security. He knows when to slow things down, when to up it
Yeah.
up. You could say has excellent passing range and him good vision. So why not? For me, I think he's actually better off deployed in the midfield than in the right back position. But Rosenior, he's found a way to utilize him in that place that then even though he's in the midfield, he knows when to make overlapping runs or from that midfield area to actually basically operate as a right back and put good crosses into the box. That has worked, and I'm happy. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry for cutting you off. Did we lose Jay? And by the way, I think it's important we appreciate Jay. That was excellent analysis from him. I enjoy listening to him talk football, but that was seriously beautiful. I think it's important that we appreciate him. Give me a second here. Let's do confaded this time. Yeah, that was awesome, really. Hands up for Jay, hands up for Jay. He did good. All right, what else do we have here? My assistant here, Eugene, says we need reasons in the midfield. Looks like Caicedo isn't able to do a job in big games under pressure. I think I still have them both. Then Caicedo can get the job done from a defensive perspective, while from an offensive perspective, this James gets he said does it. But I understand where you're coming from. I think he brings good balance in that midfield. Jay looks like he's gone for the night. So, Bands, are you there?
Yes, sir.
You want to respond to anything, or you want us to switch topics?
Maybe we can switch topics
Okay.
because
I was gonna ask Jay, but he's gone. When he comes back, maybe if he's not gone again for good, I'll ask him that. And Ty did trigger this. Ty, thank you so much for triggering that. I sincerely do appreciate that. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the video. We still have 140 people following the show, and we're stuck on 56 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes. We'd really appreciate that. Now, but let me see if it comes back out because that question is specific. It was, like I said, driven by the response he presented. Let me ask you this: Do you? I don't think that's possible. I don't think Estevao gets a chance to start. I'll be shocked if we see him on the bench, except if he's fully fit and the manager is just playing mind games, which I don't think it is, because the manager did say that they're taking it slowly because he had a hamstring injury, which you don't want to, you can say, for any reason, bring the player back into the fold prematurely, leading to that, which could lead to the player suffering a setback. But let's hear you.
yeah, if we don't see Estevao in the game, then I guess we will see Neto on his preferred right side and Garnacho playing at the left side. which I think is another option. But let's ask ourselves, if we have these guys playing um, on the same day in the same match, how effective is it going to be? Especially, I've seen a lot of the Chelsea fans complaining about Pedro Neto, but with Estevao, he hasn't been around for a very long time. That's why I also still believe that he could start from the bench, because it might be very difficult for you to play in a game where you haven't played for so long. I think the last time he played was against Burnley. I'm not quite sure. So let's see what goes on. If we don't see Estevao playing, then I obviously think that we are going to see Garnacho and also Pedro Neto in the same game. And I don't know how it's going to look like. Um, I would have wished that Estevao will start in a game where he's very, very comfortable with. Because the way PSG play, if you have Estevao playing in that game, it's most
He
likely,
will smoke them.
yeah, it's likely he's going to destroy them. So everything will depend on Rosenior. Everything will depend on Rosenior. Whether he's playing a mind game too is another option, because he doesn't want you to find out how Estevao will be playing against them, and he can just let him skip some few games. And behind closed doors, we don't know what they will be doing. And since he's a football player, I believe even if he's not playing any competitive game, he should go out there and do whatever he's capable of doing. So honestly, I would like to see Estevao playing, but if he's not playing, and we have the option of putting in Garnacho and Pedro Neto, let's see how it goes. But the pair between Pedro Neto, Estevao, and Joao Pedro will be more effective as compared to the other one. So let's see what happens on Wednesday. Everything will depend on Rosinia, and let's see how he's going to set up for the game.
Let's see, because yeah, right now we don't know a lot about how he operates. And if you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it there, and we will try the best we can to address it. Gusto should absolutely play to exploit Mendes' weakness. PSG will set up the same way they did in the Club World Cup. Therefore, Gusto will be very useful in this game. I think he will be. We're not saying he's a bad player. I think everything. If you listen to all the stuff people participating in the conversation, what they've said, all about Gusto's inconsistency. Barrio Malotelli, I like that one. That's creativity right there. Thank you for joining the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. And my bro here, Chalma says, if we play Reece James in the middle, where will Enzo Fernandez play? Just the same. That's just further forward. Listen, we almost always play with a fluid approach. Even if Reece James start in the midfield, pairing, we'll have the two sixes of Moises Caicedo and Reece James. Then Enzo Fernandez will be starting position. Let's phrase it this way: his starting position will be the number 10 position, and we almost always play with a fluid approach. And then on the right hand side will be what's his name, Cole Palmer. Yeah, so not a concern really, because we use a fluid approach. So the application is what I pay attention to, not necessarily the placement of the players in the suggested formation. But let's say if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. We're taking questions now. It won't be long and we call it a day. We're not going to go news hunting again, because definitely we're sure nothing new emerged as the show progressed. So let's hear you. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. We'll be very happy to address it. PSG fans are going into this game the same way we are. Both of us feel like we're inconsistent this season. But one thing that's been consistent with us is that when it's a big game, we perform. Yeah. Just 1 second here. All right, let's say see what else do we have here? Mod Mana, okay, responding. Mod Mana likes a lot of your comments. He says you're overthinking it, mate. Reese is our captain and needs to be at the back holding it down. Enzo can play anywhere, but I'd have him pulling the strings from deep. Palma, yeah, no, I want Reece James in the midfield. I don't like that comment from Mod Mana there, but yeah, good one though. I think we're training it well and it's working. So let's see anything else. Yeah. Joao Pedro, no question, he starts in the number 9 position. And we're not actually building the lineup, but we're having conversations here. Let's say you Bant, the pairing you think, before you even start speaking, the pairing you think we're going to see in the center back position. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, Chalmers says Estevao is coming back from a hamstring injury, so there is no way he will play, especially since he'd likely face the physical battle of Nunes. So it wouldn't make sense. I'll be surprised if I see him on the bench too. So I agree with you. Bands, let's see. Let's hear you. The centre backs you think we'll see on the day. I think I remember you mentioning Sarr starting.
Yeah, Coachila, I've told you, we have 5 centre backs available right now: Joshua Champon, Chaloba Sa, Badiasho, and Tosin. Those bomb squad, and I believe we're going to see. You know something about Tosin? Tosin, for me, sometimes prove people wrong. Sometimes when you expect him to do good, he sometimes bottle it, and sometimes there are days he has seen a very good day. So I don't know, but I'm not going to consider him for this game. We also have Fofana. Sorry, I forgot about Fofana. If Fofana is free to play this game, obviously that would be Chaloba and Fofana taking the center back. But as I told you earlier on, I feel like Sa and Chaloba are going to start this game, depending on the injury situation of Fofana, and those are the reliable players that can fit in for the day. I'm saying Sa because I keep telling people he just came back from the League 1, and he has met these guys several times in the League 1 matches, and he knows the terrain very well.
I
So
mean that's you could say a very good factor to consider. But whether the manager considers that or feels like the other center backs are more experienced and can get the job done better than Sa, we don't know. But go ahead.
who is that experienced center back so that I
I
can
don't know. I'm just saying maybe he'd
no
feel
I
that's the case.
yeah, if I'm Rosenior, like I'll go for Sa even ahead of Fofana, because let's not forget Fofana never played in the Club World Cup, so he really, although he's a French player, but he hasn't played with this PSG team. But with Sa, yes, we can say that he even played them earlier. Let's say he played recently. He was the one who played with them recently, and he knows the squad. So obviously, I can put Sa, but for Fana on the day is also going to be a good inclusion, and I wouldn't be surprised if Rosinia starts Chaloba and Fofana in the centre back.
Yeah, and Jay's back. So let's see. Jay, I had a question for you, and you got disconnected. So, but Ty says, yeah, I don't know about saying PSG will approach the same the game as they did in the Club World Cup. Even if they decide to play differently, it's not. We're not going to see that much of a difference. And you know Enrique so well to know that he hardly ever approaches the game differently. He's that manager. I think he's one of those managers in world football that you just know what they're gonna do, but they drill their players a lot, so much into, you can say, so much that the way they want to play becomes a part of their, you can say, daily life. So lack of a more accurate way to get that point across, that you know what they're gonna do, but you still cannot stop them. I don't. If he changes things, I don't think it's gonna be a lot. I think his focus right now is actually for them not to be burned out before they meet us. before we get to play. That's, you say, that's reflective in the fact that they had to go speak with the French FA to find a way to postpone some of the games they play within this period so that they have time enough to rest. Because yeah, we've heard that they're saying that they lost to us because they were tired. Yeah.
That is just a flimsy excuse.
Exactly. And Ty, yeah, they are so predictable, but at the same time, that doesn't mean they will be a walk in the park. You know what they're going to do, but are you going to be able to stop them? And that's the thing. Yeah, he hardly ever goes defensive. I don't remember seeing that happen. But Jay, the question I wanted to ask you, you've agreed that we're definitely going to see Gusto and James on the pitch, but that definitely speaks volume. Can points to the fact that there will be adjustment to accommodate both. So where are we going to see that adjustment?
I mean, you're just sacrificing the pivot, and not even sacrificing. You're just removing one player from the pivot. That is the Caicedo and Andres Santos or Lavia pivot. You know, the double pivot. You're just replacing Santos with the Reece James, and yeah, that's the whole team. So there is no much changes in the further forward line or the attacking area. It's just that you're just replacing one pivot player and putting James in the midfield, and yeah, that's the same team for you.
Yeah, I agree. And for the centre back pairing, which players are you expecting to see?
I don't think there needs to be any question or debate over this. It's going to be Chalobah and Fofana. There is a reason why both of them did not have any minutes against Wrexham. They were rested for this game. Part one, and the second part is you are always going to get to go with the trusted guys, and whether you like it or not, Chalobah and Fofana are our main, trusted number one pairing for the bigger occasions, for the bigger games. So I am this will be the area where I would be expecting the least of surprises. So center back pairing of Fofana and Chalobah is good enough. And again, the short thing is that we don't have much things on the bench to offer. So yeah, obviously they are the default center back partnership to go with. The shout of Sar is obviously understandable because he has played against PSG a lot and he has performed well against that team a lot. But we can't really go with that philosophy. It's a different team, it's a different philosophy, and there are different players of different caliber at Chelsea. By that logic, I think we should be going with Santos because he had man of the match performances against PSG, but we are not really going with him. Sar, as much promising as talented he is, it will still take time for him to, adjust himself to the new team and the new players, and it will take time for him to really rise up to occasions such as this one, where two big teams are playing and one team is full of revenge mode in their mind. So it's not going to be easy on the centre back, and I'm not really going to put Sar in such a situation. It's going to be detrimental for a young guy like him.
Yeah, let me ask you also, given Ty's suggestion that they might, you could say, let me read that again. It's a possibility. I'm just going by what I know about Luis Enrique. He says, I don't know about saying PSG will approach the game the same way they did in the Club World Cup final. Do you expect them to do anything differently, Jay?
Well, there can be a few changes, like the role of some personnels. I think it could be different, but the core philosophy is attacking football. He's not going to just sit back and park the bus. That is not something he's going to do, especially at home. So we are not really going to see a lot of change in his approach. Maybe a few principal changes in the way some fullback is playing. Maybe he's inverting, not maybe some forward players coming to join the midfield build up as well. So these are the small things that you can expect him to do. So as I said, there is a idea around Europe and especially in England that Chelsea are really weak on set pieces and aerial threats. So that is something he can also target. So these are the small things, but we have to remember that we are also not under Enzo Maresca. We are also going to be a bit different, and we are under a manager who has a better understanding about PSG and Enrique than even Enzo Maresca. So I'm expecting, even if there is some little changes by Enrique in the way he's going to play, I'm expecting our manager, because of his experience with Strasbourg in Liga, I'm expecting him to have a valid and solid plan to counter him if there are any changes.
Yeah, I agree. I really do agree. So I don't know. Vance, you want to add to that one before we run the field? I don't. There not much to talk about tomorrow. We will do the combined 11 for both teams. That will be fun. But Vance, let's hear you. Do you expect to see anything? Do you think PSG will play differently on the day? Approach the game
Yeah,
differently?
the whole of this week, I told you that strategically wise, a lot of things might change. And if you look at the PSG team, they were missing one of their center backs, Pacho. He's a very wonderful player, and I think he's going to be around this time around. And they are going to miss their able goalie, who is now with Man City. So that would be some changes. And if I was Joao Pedro, I would start having conversation with Caicedo and ask more about Pacho and his weakness so that I can exploit those areas. But I know they are both coming from South America and they know themselves very well. And he will be able to handle that situation. So all in all, I believe there will be a lot of changes coming from both sides as to whether they have to go and win this particular game because they don't want to be more, should I say, well known for what happened previously. So they might work some of their formation and make sure that they adapt something differently from what happened during the summer. And I still think that both teams are going to surprise each other with their setup and the lineup on the day.
What we have, and then we call it a day. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 51 minutes, nearly 3 hours. So where did I stop? Ty is coming here. Mod Mana always fighting with Ty. All right. Chalma says, I wish you all noticed how crucial Nuno Mendes is for PSG. I think the world knows that. Anybody that watches PSG or that have ever watched PSG should know that. If you watched Portugal versus Spain in the Nations final, you'd see just how big a threat he can be. He's an excellent player, no denying that. And we have a Chris Njovu. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. If I didn't, apologies to you. He says, "Hey, my thoughts on this one. Chelsea is a team that anyone should not underestimate, especially with Joao being energetic like that. PSG must be very, very careful with Chelsea. Interest again for the no for the neutrals, and yeah, I'm quite sure a lot of hate watch shows on that day. Rival fans hoping that PSG will smash us so that they can banter us. I was against Neto starting up, but you convinced me. Neto has one thing over Hakimi: pure raw pace, and pinning their fullbacks is very essential in weakening their attack. I keep the fullback defending, but we wait and we see what the manager does on that day. And who else do we have here? Oshane Black. Oshane Black, he says, the festival is fit and ready. He could be our secret weapon. Plus, JP's form could do much damage to PSG. I agree. I think it would be an interesting game. Good one for neutrals. But I hope we don't give head watchers a good. I hope we don't give them something to work with on that day. I remember when I was shutting down, we were shutting down yesterday. Ty said something about being late, and I think he was nearly cussing out Ty. That was like, damn. Uh, all right. I don't know. Let me just read it. I'm just giving my thoughts, and Twix will be there, and we won't play the way we did PSG. I think I probably will probably create a lot more chances on the day. That's because we play a lot again in you can say in a more vertical manner this day. But that's by the way. I don't know anything else you guys want us to talk about, or is it again? Is it for you, Bans?
Yeah. Coachy, what I would say is
Mhm.
the Chelsea fans should just relax, and also they should make sure that this game is going to be totally different from what we witnessed at MetLife. When we were playing in MetLife, we were the underdogs, and PSG never thought that we will come in with that kind of performance, and we caught them off guard. This time around, they are going to study Chelsea, and it's going to be a total different
I'm
game.
sorry, I'm reading what one man is saying to that.
And and I also think that
Go ahead, bro.
I also think that I also think that if Enrique is not able to qualify to the next stage of the competition, he might end up leaving PSG. And Tobago's uncle Maresca will get the opportunity to take over, PSG. So that is something or a forecast that I'm going to give for the future. It's most likely Enrique will be sacked at the end of the season if
They're
he's
not gonna
unable
sack
to
him.
go.
They will not sack him.
That's how I feel, Coachy. Let's see what happens, and
Okay.
maybe because I mean, if there is some other option for them, they could just exploit that area. So I feel
Mhm.
like if he's unable to go far in this competition, he's most likely going to get the sack, and he might
Okay.
end up in the Premier League.
All right. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
How about you, Jay? Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, just a short message. Try to go expecting a victory, but try your best. If things are not going your way, try your best to not lose the game. And yeah, that's all. And I'm hopeful that we can get a result away at
Yeah,
PSG. Pretty
it's a
confident.
winnable game. They're not the strongest team in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they play attacking football. You get your chances. The question is, uh, yeah, you have to take those chances when they come your way. And tomorrow we will do a combined 11 exercise, a lot of fun. So if you know any PSG fans, invite them. Chelsea is a very, very unpredictable team. I agree with you. Chelsea can go to PSG and perform poorly, or they can completely dominate PSG. I hope it's the latter. I trust my team. I believe Chelsea will dominate. I hope we do. And with that, we've come to the natural end of this particular show. I appreciate all the energy in the chat, all the you could say constructive conversations. It's been excellent. Even I feel like being part of the conversation. But Mod Mana did represent very well, except for fighting with Ty. So Osho Oshane Black sounds like a Nigerian name that's of Nigerian origin. But I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And if it is your first time here, feel at home, express yourself. All we ask of you is to keep it civil. And to my bro, Ty, I appreciate you being part of the conversation. I cannot thank you enough. Who else was here? Pepu. Thank you, Pepu, for being part of the conversation. Chelma also, thank you for being part of the conversation. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all. And cheers.
Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge, we rise, never wrong. With every goal, we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Keep blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels chase the dream through every match day. We're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. but Chelsea forever will stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly from Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. But Chelsea forever will stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. But Chelsea forever will stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable. Hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable. Hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying easy for